A lot of I can't count that. I got to watch over 3 innings. No, I got to watch over 5 innings because it's got to be an official game for me to count it. How many games have I watched on the weekend right now? I've seen bits and pieces of innings. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to anybody. But it's there's bald spots there. Tomorrow, college football Saturday. I don't want to answer it right now. I want it to marinate. College football Saturday. There's no Ohio State. No Ohio State. You have a doubleheader tomorrow because you got to make up the rain game. Owen has mentioned that. You have the doubleheader tomorrow. You got to make up the rain game. You do have Oklahoma playing at 3:30. There is a quarterback on that team. How many people are going to be watching both Guardians games over college football? There's no Ohio State. I bet a lot of people are. I think there's so many fans out there. If it ain't Ohio State, they really ain't going to watch. I want it to marinate. That's all.
And this is why you needed to have a run like this, because people get very distracted this time of year. There's so much going on. It's amazing. It's amazing that they're even able to get a schedule together, considering all the stuff that they're running around that you got to do this time of year. And so the fact that we're even talking about them and even attempting to be as dialed in as we can be this time means that they've at least done something. They've made it so that it's relevant.
So you got to look at the schedule, figure it out. Okay. Everybody on YouTube, figure it out. 216-474-0092. I'll ask that later on. Okay, we got a lot of work to get to today. The Guardians are back to 1.5 right now in the wild card standings. They're 3.5 out of the Central Division. This is a fabulous moment, and they have a doubleheader tomorrow, and they're taking on a Minnesota Twins team that is absolute garbo. So we got more coming up later. I want to ask Daryl about that. I know that it's Football Friday. We got to ask Daryl about that coming up at 8:20 this morning. 216-474-0092. And guys, they're getting paid. When we talk about moral victories, at least when this one is, it is a gag. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app. Daisy Dip, I'm getting hungry and I'm going to the grocery store. Daisy Dip. Oh, don't give me that face. The Daisy Dip is good. I'm going to sing it later. I don't care. Get some Daisy Dip. The rat.
Hey everybody, Andy Baskin for Choice Cabinets. 60 to 70% off retail. That's why I love them. And now more opportunity for you. At 4856 Richmond Road, they've expanded their store. Go check it out. Choice Cabinets, choicecabinet.com.
The Fan Bud Light Tailgate is back. 6 hours of game day coverage. Nick Bodone and Jake Volnick get your game day started at 7 a.m. Jonathan Peterlin and Coach Lance Reisland take over at 10 a.m.
Plus, beat reporter Daryl Ryder will have updates up until kickoff.
The Fan Bud Light Tailgate Show is powered by the Valley Automotive Group.
Smiley One, heating, cooling, and plumbing.
Smiley One and Brian, doing whatever it takes. This is the radio home of the Cleveland Browns.
Here we go, Brownies! Here we go!
92.3 The Fan. Sign up to be a part of the Fan Club. Download the free Odyssey app and follow 92.3 The Fan to get all of the best audio and best stories sent straight to your inbox. 92.3thefan.com.
Coming up at 8:20 this morning, the dangerous one, Daryl Ryder. Now, we are going to talk about some Guardians with him, clearly. It has to happen. Also, Herm Edwards, former NFL coach, ESPN, the whole deal. He'll join us coming up at 7 o'clock. Who does he compare Dylan Gabriel to? And how soon would he make the switch to Dylan Gabriel? That coming up at 7 o'clock. Nathan Zagura, 9 o'clock. I don't know if we're going to do coming in hot. I still haven't decided. It's slotted for 9:45, but it is not in pen. It's in pencil.
It was on probation last week, and then what happened?
Well, because some idiot decided to call in and... Yeah, I'm not even going to... I think you already know. And so Owen got mad. I got mad. Owen got really mad. And then that was the end of it. That was basically the end of it. We both had to dump it out, and it was terrible.
Let me just clarify on my end. I got mad about that idiot, but I also got mad that the other people that got in, they sucked.
They were terrible. Yes.
So let's try to not suck this week, guys.
Pick it up. Have a tape, don't suck.
I just wonder if expectations, because we've had so many great ones that the expectations.
That's true.
Maybe people can't come up with new stuff every week. I don't know.
I'm expecting too much out of the audience, is what you're saying?
I know. I'm wondering what's happened.
Listen, if they weren't thinking before, they got 3.5 hours now. There's a lot of things you can do in 3.5 hours. You got plenty of time. 9:45 is your time to shine. Get all the people at the office around. If you're a mechanic, get all the guys under the bay and make your call, and don't be an idiot about it. And please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. Is there such thing as a moral victory in the NFL, Tone? Because Tua Tagovailoa was asked about that yesterday. Here's what Tua had to say after the Dolphins lost last night on Thursday Night Football, which you could hear right here on 92.3 The Fan. Hit it.
Yeah, no moral victories, that's for sure. There's definitely some things that we can take away that is good, that's up to par within our standard of how we operate within the offense. Never good to lose, regardless of how a certain individual may have felt they performed. You know, this is a team sport. We win together, we lose together.
So they're getting paid. We do when we do moral victories, like the Browns' moral victory record is 1-1. There were no moral victories to take away. There's maybe more moral victories for the fans, because I don't want fans to walk around in a bad mood all the time or in despair all the time when things aren't going well. So there might be some gold in them there hills, and I think there are things that you can take away, because you don't just get rid of players year to year to year, or the entire cavalcade of players year to year to year. But you have a Dolphins team where I have a coach, I really don't know if he's going to make it here on October 19th.
That was an entertaining game, by the way, last night.
It was entertaining, but does that mean that there's a moral victory to a wide receiver that you have that, I don't know if anybody's going to trade for him. Boy, I don't know if you heard that prime broadcast of that. They got into that. Oh, God.
But then what you're talking about, you're talking about Tyreek, right? Tyreek Hill?
Yes, of course.
You saw, though, playmaking, still there, still look fast.
Clearly, yes.
Still definitely look like if you're a contender and you feel like you've got the locker room that you could plop him in and take care of things, right? He still looks like he has a lot of talent. I know people were wondering that the first 2 weeks, but he looked excellent last night.
But I think that for somebody will probably trade for him, but I don't know what value you're going to get back, because I have no idea. Like, the NFL at any time could probably step in and go, well, we're going to take a look at this, and we're going to, like, now there's an exempt list or something like that. Like, there's a lot of weirdness to all of that right now. So, but
I could see Shanahan going, oh, I can get Tyreek Hill? Really? Interesting.
That's a very fair point. But you have Tua, who you've paid a lot of money to. You had Mr. Cool as the head coach, who, boy, he looks You want to talk about president's agent? He looks terrible now. And they're 0-3, and it looks like this is going to be a situation where the Browns play that. I don't think Kevin Stefanski's going anywhere before the end of the year. But at the end of the year, I don't know if it's going to be a situation that you can go into 2026.
They'd have to be like 1-13.
Yes.
Then I could see it.
But I don't think that he's in any danger. And I don't if they go out and they even get blown out on Sunday against the Packers, I don't think that he's in any danger. I don't know if Mike McDaniel's going to be here on October 19th when they play the Dolphins. And I think that you obviously feel the same way. If there's anything, for a fan, where does moral victory stand? Because if we're talking about the Browns all along this entire offseason, right, going into 2026, how many times, as of right now, do we believe it's going to come out of our mouths? Well, you got Carson Schlesinger, he's really good. And you got Mason Graham, and he's pretty good. And you start to say these things because you're looking for something that's a positive. Well, that's a moral victory. That's a moral victory. So it is a moving category of what it is. But at the end of it, what bothers me so much and what's bothered me so much is that you and I were flummoxed in 2022 where we would get these opinions of, well, the process is fine. The way they're doing it is fine. They're just not winning. It's that's the whole point of the game. That's the whole point of the game is to find ways to win. You're not winning. Somebody has to answer for it. Now, somebody did. It changed, but you have to win. Somebody has to do this, and it has to eventually count up there on the scoreboard. So how long do moral victories go?
And in year 6. That's what we keep coming back to.
Yes.
It'd be one thing
if it was in year 1 and it was a totally new regime.
When they tore it down to the studs, you're willing to give more leeway. You don't have any expectations. You are monitoring the young players to see, all right, how long is this process going to take to go from, the basement to wherever we're trying to go? This one's a weird one because... Did you see the numbers came out? And I know people were trying to expose why this is such a flawed metric, but the Browns are the oldest team in the NFL.
Yes.
Okay, and people are well, that doesn't count. They have Flacco, but it does count because every team's got a mixture of some young and some old and some guys that could be swaying. But the Browns have a lot of veterans.
Exactly.
They have a lot of veterans.
Especially in key positions, right? It'd be different if the kicker was 40 years old.
You're bad. You're supposed to be bad. That almost never happens in the NFL. If you're going to be bad, you get rid of the veterans and you start from scratch. They're in a weird year. We labeled that. We knew that in the offseason. Whether or not they had Flacco, they could have had anybody else. And fine, take Flacco out of the equation. They still were going to be an old team.
I'm the king of moving goalposts, but you guys know damn well and certain that if you're going to be young, it's a little bit easier to not be as good. But if you're going to be old, you better be good. And they are the 5th oldest team in the NFL, and they ain't good. And they're in a not good situation.
It's 5th oldest? Okay.
Yes, I thought it was the 5th oldest the last time I saw it just yesterday. So maybe things have changed. I have no idea, to be honest with you. But I saw it yesterday. It was 5th oldest by the metric I saw. So if you're going to be one of the older teams in the NFL, and yes, I know that we're talking about 22 to 25-year-olds in a lot of cases. Yes, it's still relatively young. But if you're going to be an old team, you better be good. And they're bad. They're bad right now. And I can't take away when you have a franchise defensive end, a franchise cornerback. You do have a 40-year-old quarterback that I know that he's there as a bridge, so I take him aside. But I have an offensive line that right now their future is all up in the air. All up in the air. You might have to sign. I think that a lot of people would like to get younger on the offensive line. Zach Zinter's not ready. He was a healthy scratch. So you might have to sign Wyatt Teller to a contract just to have some stability on the offensive line when you go and get a guy in the draft for this coming year. And now, and I'll tell you this, there's more understanding than ever. I know you brought up Jaden Daniels, there's going to be a little bit of a sophomore pushback. We mentioned C.J. Stroud. There's definitely been a little bit of a regression to the mean there because other guys have to play good around him. I think there's more understanding than there was 8, 7, 6 years ago even from getting new quarterbacks and immediately taking off. I think there's more understanding there. But damn, if you're going to be in year 6, and I look at the Dolphins, if you're going to be, how many years has Mike McDaniel been there? 4? If you're going to be in year 4 or 5, it's time to go.
I do think there is a difference.
It's time to go.
This week.
It can't be dealt with.
I do think there's a difference this week. Call it moral victory, call it whatever you want. There is a huge difference this week in just getting blown out and looking like you have no business being on the same football field by the time it gets into the fourth quarter as the Packers. And, hey, Judkins, Sampson, Fannin play really well.
That's great.
You keep it to within 7 to 10 points, and it's a ball game, in the fourth. I do think there's a major difference between that and just getting blown out.
I think you say that right now, and I think that means something for those players, but what's Kevin Stefanski's overall record?
Oh, yeah, I'm not. Again, you know how I feel about the losses piling up and the organization.
Exactly.
But I'm talking about fans would be able to leave the stadium saying, you know what, if we just had the right coach. Like that's what you'd be able to do.
But when you hear about the understanding
right quarterback
of things,
and the right coach.
When you hear about the understanding of things, I think it makes you want to pull out your hair because it's still year 6. And if I go, yeah, I got Fanning, yeah, I got Swessinger, yeah, I got so and so. Where were all these guys? Okay, why am I not saying guys from 3 years ago? Why am I not saying guys from 2 years ago or 4 years ago here when this regime has been in charge for 6 years? Like that's why I keep saying it may very well be too little, too late for Andrew Berry. 216-474-0092. Coming up at 7, Herm Edwards. We talked to him yesterday. Who does he compare Dylan Gabriel to? You're going to hear that coming up at 7:02 this morning. And I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but this guy, this fella, could be the very best that Cleveland has to offer. Who is it? I'll tell you at 6:43 on The Fan.
It's Anthony Limo.
Greeny Sports Cars presents 2 huge collectible events this month. The Broadview Heights Show on Saturday, September 20th, and Medina County Collectors Fair September 26th through 28th, where sports and pop culture collide. For more details, visit greenysportscards.com.
Sometimes there are things that you need to work on or that they need to see you be able to do or handle or understand or call in a practice before you can demonstrate that you can go out there and have Micah Parsons coming at you and then you're going to know how to handle that situation. So it's not just, hey, let's see what Dylan can do. It's also, hey, let's see what Dylan is ready for. It's called quarterback development, and it is vitally important how it's done.
Listen for Mary Kay Cabot from the Plain Dealer in Cleveland.com. Tuesday mornings at 11 on Cleveland's Sports Radio. 92.3 The Fan.
I always look at one day. I'm proud of our guys. It's fun to get a sweep, but you don't come in expecting anything. You come in ready to play each day, ready to go win each day, and if you win 3 days in a row, it's a sweep. So I'm really proud of our guys. We just have to continue to do this every single day until the finish line.
Is he the best Cleveland has to offer? I think he's the best. I think he's the best.
The best what?
I think he's the best manager / head coach in Cleveland.
You think he is the best professional baseball manager in Cleveland?
After all those,
he's the best head man in Cleveland.
Man, it felt like there was a stretch where every loss was that a vote loss?
Remember, Lombardo's over in Lakewood. He ain't in Cleveland, so you can't even give me that. All right, that's a different mailing address. He's the best they got. I mean, he's the best in the city, man. Who's better? It ain't Kevin.
Well, Kevin.
I like Kevin personally. Ain't Kevin.
Kevin's accomplished more, right?
He has the trophies on the mantle.
Wait a minute. All right. They both went to the postseason in their first year. Okay, so they both got that.
Now vote as a manager of the year.
Correct.
Kevin was coach of the year.
Doubled that.
Kevin was,
and then
he's been around for 6 years.
Yep.
Then
Steven's only been around for 1 and most of the second.
Kevin year 2 did.
Now, if the season were to end today, vote would be on the outside looking in for the playoffs.
True.
But it doesn't end today. Thank goodness.
Steven's the best in the city.
And you would say that if the season ended today, he would be looked at as a failure this season, Anthony? Because you've alluded to that to me off air, and now you're doing it on air.
The argument,
that if they miss the playoffs,
yeah. So that would be a failure by him.
Obviously, I feel really
with
good.
all that's went on with the roster this season. Not only the lack of spending, but the losing a piece of your rotation and losing the best closer.
You're saying maybe he should be off the hook a little bit because he had all these. We had the big discussion about Class A, whether that was unlucky or not.
Well, you had that. You and your little degenerate friends that wanted to say, haha, it's funny, right?
The only thing that was
you did
unlucky.
That whole thing
but I did think it was unlucky, yes.
It was more than unlucky.
Ken had a different way to describe it.
Well, yeah, it's not unlucky. All you have to do is not bet or not consort yourself with gamblers, allegedly.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Class A. We don't know his side of the story.
It's all alleged.
Tried to get Keith to send me down to the Dominican League to get an interview, but haven't got it happening.
Well, we'll see whether or not it works here. But he's the best in the city. The argument's not between him and Kevin, clearly. Unless you want to make an argument for Kevin. Can you get your brain to do many gymnastics?
I was wondering if you could make a case for Kenny Atkinson.
Well, of course you can make the argument for Kenny Atkinson. That's why I think that's the argument. I don't think it's between Kevin,
now,
but
Kenny
I think
Atkinson,
it's Kenny.
Kenny Atkinson, what were the Cavs? What was their seed at the end of the year in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah. Number 1.
They were number 1.
What'd they do with that number 1 seed?
They were a disappointing loss in the second round.
They had the most lopsided playoff win in the history of the NBA, I thought.
Yeah. Against a losing record team that shouldn't have even got in.
Yeah, but that
$4 will get you a large coffee with a shot of espresso.
Seed,
well, hold on. That's not what we were saying when they had done it. When they'd done it, we were wondering, can they go to the finals?
Yeah, right. And then they played a series after that.
Yeah,
right?
I saw the results.
And what happened in that series?
They had 2 of their best players were injured.
I know what he's trying to tell us. He's trying to say I can't say Steven Vogt's the best in the city until after this season. That's what he's trying to say.
Well, because if it ended right now, it would be a very disappointing follow-up to last year's amazing year.
He's right. He's actually right. As of right now, no, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment here.
Disagree, guys.
I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment here. But think about this, Owen. Like, we got to go with this. You're right. Because At the end of the last season, it was like, this guy's amazing. This guy's amazing. Look at what he did. Like the scene where he went up and called the timeout, like went right in the guy's face. It was amazing. I mean, Kenny Atkinson knows what he's doing, and we like Kenny Atkinson. And I think that Stephen Vogt is doing more with less right now. I'll make that argument all day long. I have one legendary player with the Cleveland Guardians. I have one future Hall of Famer. I got another guy who's a Defensive Player of the Year. I got a lot of good basketball players when I have the Cleveland Cavaliers.
How many max contract guys do the Cavaliers have on their roster?
4? Is it 4?
Yes.
Well, does Jared count?
No.
Okay.
Jared, so they have 3.
They have 3.
And I'll give you Jose Ramirez. He's even though he's not even in the tops of the max contracts, but we'll call him a max contract guy.
He hits 4 times a game. He's good defensively, but he doesn't have the opportunity to do as much as Donovan Mitchell or Evan Mobley or Darius Garland, and to a degree, Jared Allen.
You're just saying You're just basically saying coaches don't matter nearly as much in the NBA, right?
Not in game.
I
don't
hate
think
to
they
say
do.
it, but I think that they don't matter as much.
I've made that point.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to demean Kenny when I say that. I think they're both very good. But I do think now that I think about it, I do think that Lima has a point. Like, you kind of have to wait until after the season.
Disappointed in you, Ken.
Well, what do you want? Why are you disappointed?
You let him flip you that quick.
No, but he has a valid... I'm going to stand by saying that it's Stephen Vogt.
He's smiling about it.
I'm not going to... Wait a minute. I'm not here to make an screaming ass of myself. But I, for the first time in 10 years...
I didn't ask you to do that. I just asked you to stand on your, on your laurels.
I'm
standing on my moral high ground here and on my soapbox. Stephen Vogt, I think, does more with less than any of the coaches in Cleveland. But it's only been most of year 2. And they're looking like they're going to make the postseason, but they haven't made the postseason. Now, I would stand to say that making the postseason with the Guardians is a bigger accomplishment than getting the number 1 seed in the East with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I would say that when you have that many good players for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Nah, but if they go out there and they get to the wild card, you know what? Even if they get to the wild card, I'd say, well, you're still doing more with less. I want to see, but if they don't make the postseason, it's going to be a failure of a year for a lot of people, which is going to be a hell of a question if they don't make the postseason. But I don't want to answer that right now, and I don't want to ask it because you just got done sweeping the Tigers. That's a terrible thing to ask when you get done sweeping the Tigers and we're getting ready to take on the Twins. So I will relent and say that it's probably. I still believe it's Stephen Vogt. Now I'm starting to talk myself into it and say, like, hey, let's get in the trenches and go after each other.
Have we eliminated the two-time coach of the year, Stefanski,
I think we can all
who won a playoff game with the Browns that he wasn't really at, but he's been to the playoffs twice. Have we eliminated him from the discussion?
We'll find out a little bit more on Sunday. I mean, hell, if they could end up going 15-2, and I could have a bunch of egg on my face for having this argument right now. There's a lot of other surprising things that could happen by the end of the year for all we know. I think that might be the most surprising thing by the end of the season. But yeah, I think that Stephen Vogt's the best in the city. I think that Kenny Atkinson's second, and regrettably...
Is this a power ranking? It smells like a power ranking.
Play the music, but I already did it.
Does smell like a power ranking.
Play the damn music. Number 1, Stephen Vogt. Number 2, Kenny Atkinson. Number 3, Kevin Stefanski.
Man!
Boom.
Proud of you, Ken, for not flip-flopping.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You know what? I'm proud of him, too.
Thank you.
Go ahead and do yours, Anthony.
Yeah, go ahead and do yours.
I'd probably go...
You just like basketball more.
I do, but there was an embarrassing loss in the second round, but he was, without his healthy players. He didn't have them healthy. They played, but they weren't healthy.
If Stephen Vogt gets to the postseason, what can he do that can truly embarrass him? Because the Cavaliers had a lot of opportunities to embarrass themselves, and they did. What can Stephen Vogt do? You know what?
Continue to let...
I'm in the foxhole now, baby.
You know what?
You're wrong. I'm right. Stephen Vogt's number 1.
I haven't weighed in yet.
Stephen Vogt's number 1.
I haven't even weighed in yet.
Get your weigh in.
What can he do to embarrass himself? Realistically.
I'm going to say right now I have Atkinson by a little smidge, then Vogt, then Stefanski. I can't... Man, we were at the Stefanski Gala. I have him third. Unbelievable how things have changed.
Can't believe it.
I would not have said that when we went to the Gala. Would have said he was number 1.
Of course, you were at the Gala.
I was at the Gala, and they were coming off the playoffs. And Myles Garrett gave me a very nasty look when we came off the stage. I will
He did
just say
not
that.
give you a nasty
I don't
look.
think Kenny was paying attention as much.
Breaking news.
He was nice to me.
I mean, I don't want to power rank the nastiest looks I've ever gotten.
Well, but we're here.
Oh, I'll power rank nasty looks by Cleveland Browns players and Browns coaches. Number one, I think it's number 1, 2, and 3 with
Starts
that guy
with H
me.
and ends in E.
Yes. You can go ahead and do your power ranking, but I think 1 through 3 is all him with me.
I think there was an ex-assistant high school football coach gave you a nasty look and gave you a nasty talking to.
Wait, which one?
Well, he's now a head coach at another program.
We've talked about this off air 1,000 times.
That was a coach. That was just a different. I was talking Browns.
And he's technically not in the city.
Yeah, he's on the east side.
Not in the county.
Hey, by the way, I'm glad he got that win last week. Guess who wins that argument, buddy boy? It's me, TJ Watt. He ain't Myles Garrett, and he never will be. I win. Coming up next, Herm Edwards. Who does he compare Dylan Gabriel to? That was truly psychotic. Herm Edwards.
Please go to YouTube right now.
Who does he compare Dylan Gabriel to? We'll hear from the coach next on The Fan.
It's Anthony Lima for Floors with a Z, and this is the
filtered right to your phone during the regular season by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Hello and welcome back to The Fan. We are having some sort of technical difficulty, and that's okay. We can talk.
I sat here during the break, and all I could think was how we had Stefanski third, right, the two-time coach of the year. That's all I could think about. How he had this fall from grace.
It's not a fall from grace. He's still a good guy. It's not like he's out there breaking the law or anything like that. That's a fall from grace, is it not?
I mean, just being the head coach for 6 years in this town of this football team, that's really hard to do.
That's a low bar. Well, it's 6 years in the NFL. That's fine, but it's a low bar. All right, we got this one set here. We told you Herm Edwards was going to join us on the show. We talked to him yesterday. Here's Coach Herm Edwards. I want you guys to listen clearly. He likes Dylan Gabriel, but who does he compare Dylan Gabriel to? Here's Coach.
Coach Herm Edwards joins us right now on the hotline. Tone, go ahead.
Oh, we're so excited to have you on, and let's get to it right off the bat because we want to know what the responsible way to handle the Browns quarterback situation is with Joe Flacco having one good game, one very bad game, and having the Green Bay Packers and Micah Parsons coming to town on Sunday.
Well, I think it all will work its way out. I mean, right now they're sitting at 0-2. If this continues to be, part of the deal, eventually you can see them probably making a quarterback change. I mean, you think about their schedule. Their schedule's not favorable, to be quite honest, especially the first 4 games. I mean, it's tough. And now after this game, then they got to go to Detroit. And Detroit finally woke up, it seems like. So, and by the way, Minnesota Vikings are playing well. So it kind of handles itself. You just kind of let it play out. And eventually, if you feel like, you know what, it's going in the wrong direction, we got to get these young guys involved, then you got to make the change. I mean, it's inevitable. This is the same thing that I think that the Giants are dealing with, right? With Russell Wilson. They sit in the same kind of predicament, and as you let it play out after about a month of football, what is your record? And you can say, well, it's not the quarterback, but again, everyone looks at the quarterback, right? The quarterback and the head coach, they're the only ones that have records behind their names. No one else does. It's the quarterback and the head coach. And if you're 0-4, you're going, maybe we got to do something. It's hard, but just got to let it play out.
How does a rookie quarterback coach prove that he's ready to conduct your offense?
Well, he's not, and you know that. And the first thing you do is you walk in the defensive room when you make a quarterback change, and you tell him, hey, look, he's going to throw the ball to the bad guys. He's just going to do it because that's what they do. And when they do, we got to hold them to field goals, guys. And the defense gets it. When you play with a young guy, it's going to take him a little while to get comfortable playing quarterback. And we see it all through the league. You see young guys play, and you go, oh boy. And they have quarters of where they look really good, and then they have boo-boos. They make mistakes, but you got to live through it. And that's just part of it. It's inevitable. The key is, who's the next guy, right? Who is that guy? And I think we all know. And so from there, it's like, okay, when we make, and here's the dude you got to understand: when you make the change, you can't go back to the veteran unless the young guy gets hurt. You can't go back to the veteran. You're done. You're going to play with that guy the rest of the year.
Coach Herm Edwards joining us right now. So one of the things we certainly know is that not all quarterbacks are on the same timeline, and it's really difficult to predict who's going to be ready to go. Last year, Jaden Daniels, he showed he was ready to go basically instantly, but most aren't that way. I mean, I heard Patrick Mahomes 2 years into his career talking about not being able to read linebackers. So what is it? What is a good determining factor on whether or not a guy could be expected to actually have a pleasant start?
It has a lot to do with the play caller, to be quite honest. The failure of quarterbacks has a lot to do with the guy calling the plays. That's just my personal opinion. I say that because if you look at quarterbacks, well, let's take, since we're in Cleveland, let me ask you this. There's a guy in Tampa Bay. His name is Baker Mayfield. Interesting, isn't it? Was he in Cleveland at one time?
Yes.
When he left there, it was like, he can't play. Really? Yeah, he threw 41 touchdown passes last year. And he's playing pretty good right now. So a lot of it has to do with the play caller. And are you willing to be a play caller that understands I have this quarterback? It's not about plays. It's about the player. And will I build the offense where he can have some early success? And that's what you got to get through. And that's always that's why you think about, just close your eyes and think about this. Think about all these quarterbacks that have gone to other places and have had some success, right? It's like, hey, man, how does this happen? It's just part of the deal. Now, some of them are busts. I get that. But it's just amazing when you look at it, when you look at the resurrection of some of these quarterbacks, and you go, here's another one. Look at the Colts right now, right? Who's their quarterback? Right? He was in New York. True. They ran him out of there.
Yeah.
They're 2-0. Oh, by the way, the Colts are 2-0. Danny Dimes, they will call him, right? Danny Dimes. Oh, he can't play. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now maybe it won't work out, but it's just kind of interesting, right?
Well, it's happening more, though, right, Coach? Like Geno Smith, obviously, Sam Darnold. This is happening more and more with Baker. Why is it that this didn't used to happen, and now is it because teams are moving on from their quarterback sooner rather than later?
Yeah, because there's so much pressure, right? When you don't win and you get to that point to where you go, I got to make a change, because, like I say, the head coach and the quarterback, they're the ones, their whole careers, they have a record behind their name. No one else does. It's just the head coach and the quarterback. And when the quarterback's not winning, you go, well, okay, is it the head coach's fault or is the quarterback's fault? Who is it? They're both tied together. You go, well, I got to make a change. And then you got to ask your team, I need a spark, right? I need a spark. I got to do something. And so the biggest way you get, if you change the left tackle or the right guard or the defensive tackle, nobody cares. But when you change the quarterback, oh, boy, that gets everybody to say, you should change the quarterback. Now, let me ask you guys this, because you guys are in Cleveland.
Please.
So if they make the change, is Gabriel the guy?
No, like the guy, like the franchise guy?
No, is he the next guy up?
Yes.
Okay. You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Think about the quarterbacks in Cleveland history. I'm going to tell you who he does. And it's almost as eerie, except he's left-handed. He reminds me of Brian Sipe. I played against Brian Sipe in my era when he was in Cleveland.
Tell me why.
San Diego State.
Tell me why.
Same size, except he's left-handed. Very accurate. Gets the ball out of his hand. That was Brian Sipe. About the same dimensions. About the same height. 6 foot. Maybe say 6'1". Maybe they're fudging it. Whatever. But Brian was right-handed. But he bounced around. And when he was there, back in the day, they were good now. Oof. He got rid of the ball. He had a good running game. Good defense. When I watched that kid play in the preseason, I went, this guy reminds me of Brian Sipe.
Coach Herm Edwards joining us here on the show. So you watch the Browns. You look at Myles Garrett. Tell me, do you feel bad for Myles Garrett? I mean, he had a chance to get a trade. So
I don't feel bad. No, I don't feel bad for him. No.
Tell me why.
No. He's getting paid. He wanted the money, wanted to stay in Cleveland, you get paid. Okay. Got it. I mean, I feel bad for, no. This is what you do as a player. When you get a choice, you got to ask yourself, do I want to stay here or do I want to leave? And then if you stay there, you got to go, okay, I'm staying here. and I want to be a part of this organization. I want to help this organization win. I take my hat off to the guy. He wants to stay there. A lot of these guys anymore, they don't want to stay. They want to go somewhere else, okay? I mean, Michael Parsons, gone, left. Jerry didn't want to pay him, right? Okay, you can leave. You go to Green Bay. Michael Parsons laughing, right? He's in Green Bay. Green Bay, last time I checked, is pretty good.
Yeah.
They might be they're a Super Bowl contender. So I just think Myles Garrett, I mean, he's a fabulous player. There is no doubt about that. But we've seen this, guys. We've seen this in great players in our league. They're at a place and they spend their whole career there, and they never get the fruits of their labor. You know, some of them get into 1 or 2 playoff games, and that's it. And you go, man, whole career never gotten 2 playoff games. I mean, most teams aren't going to the Super Bowl, by the way. We know that. Man, we call that Super. I'm going to the Super Bowl. Really, man? You going to the Super Bowl? You know how hard it is to go to the Super Bowl? They all think they're going. They're not going. Come on.
What we don't want from Myles is any kind of buyer's remorse where just early into a season he sees the quarterback carousel is on and the team is losing a lot of games and the defense just can't be out there on every possession and act like it's the Super Bowl. Like eventually that dam breaks. He even spoke to that. So as a head coach, how do you monitor especially if you're an offensive head coach, how do you monitor guys on the defense who feel like the offense isn't holding up their end of the bargain?
Well, I mean, first of all, you have a leadership group on your team that you select as a head coach. There's about 5 or 6 guys on both sides of the football. They're your leaders. Myles Garrett has to be one of those guys. But see, Myles Garrett is a pro's pro. He's a pro's pro. Okay, he's a pro's pro. And you look at him and you go, okay, when he goes out there, he understands this. My name's on the back of this jersey. No one else's name. This name belongs to me. I play for the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to make sure when I play and they turn the film on, they go, ooh, boy, that guy's really good, man. There's a certain level that he's going to play at. And is he frustrated at times? Yeah. But that's what makes him who he is. That's what makes him a great player. We've seen this, guys. We've seen this in NFL history. There have been a lot of great players never get to the playoffs, no less to a Super Bowl. And you say, man, how this dude's like, he's that kind of guy, right? You feel bad for him. And you go, oh, I feel bad for the guy. But he's like, hey, man, that's the league. The NFL's hard.
Coach, we can't thank you enough for the time. You've been wonderful with us. We sincerely appreciate it and hope to talk to you again soon, Coach. Thank you.
My pleasure. Hang in there, guys. It'll get better. It'll get better. Just hang on in there. It's hard right now.
So says you.
It gets better.
Coach, thank you very much. Take care.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Was it a real laugh at the end of the interview?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I thought it was. I wanted it to sound like it because I like Herm Edwards. We had him for a half hour yesterday. Hear the entire interview. We went over quarterbacks, Myles, the whole thing. 92.3 The Fan, 92.3thefan.com. It was a great interview with Coach, yes.
A great story about Vinny Testaverde and the benching for Chad Pennington.
How he came to that decision and why he came to that decision and the whole thing with it. Hear that interview, 92.3thefan.com. Now, he mentioned it, and I asked him, Myles has no right. And I don't know if you do either, especially if you had this outlook 2 weeks ago. And we have to ask if we let you down by not asking Herm one extra question. We forgot.
Our boss was not happy.
Ken Carmen, Anthony Lyman, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app. Tom Merriman and Merriman Legal. I'll tell you what you'll be happy with when you make that call today. 216-522-9000. That's 216-522-9000. MerrimanLegal.com, friends. Tom Merriman, Merriman Legal. I hope you never have to make that call, but if you do, you're going to be glad you did because you're going to get your peace of mind. If you've been hurt at work, if you've been hurt in an accident, if you've been hurt in a car,
There's moderate congestion 77 north from Route 21 to Wheatley. Traffic's light 90 east from Crocker to Euclid Avenue. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
Traffic brought to you by NOACA, Northeast Ohio's Metropolitan Planning Agency.
What is NOACA? Northeast Ohio's metropolitan planning organization that guides the development of multi-transportation systems, environment, and major capital investments over a 5-county region. Learn how you can help plan the future of Northeast Ohio at noaca.org.
Whenever you need to talk about the Browns, we got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Tell me, do you feel bad for Myles Garrett? I mean, he had a chance to get a trade. So
I don't feel bad. No, I don't feel bad for him. He's getting paid. He's getting paid. He wanted the money, wanted to stay in Cleveland, you get paid. Okay, got it. This is what you do as a player. When you get a choice, you got to ask yourself, do I want to stay here or do I want to leave? And then if you stay there, you got to go, okay, I'm staying here. And I want to be a part of this organization. I want to help this organization win. I take my hat off to the guy. He wants to stay there. A lot of these guys anymore, they don't want to stay. They want to go somewhere else.
Herm Edwards on the emerging podcast scene with us yesterday morning, 923thefan.com for the entire interview. It was a great half-hour talk with Coach. Also coming up here in a bit, Detroit Radio is talking trash about the Guardians. That's in about last night at 7:45. We found it. Mitch went root hogging, and he found it. We'll play it for you coming up here at around 7:45. Right now, I don't know how people are thinking while they're driving in. The YouTube chat is all whether or not they should trade Myles or if they even can trade Myles, which it is a untradeable contract, and I can't describe how many terms. I mean, it's innumerable. He is here. It is bolted to the wall. He is now a lifetime Cleveland Brown. The dead cap money, I think, is at $86 million if you really wanted to get into that. He has a no-trade clause, and that's just the beginning of all of it. So he's there, which made me start to think, I think a lot of people would still say the same thing Herm did, and I felt the same way Herm did. Like, hey, you knew what this was when you signed the contract. How dare you if you thought that, things are going to change dramatically. You know very well they're in no position to change things dramatically right now. They could have changed things dramatically. I hate to say it, back in 2021, but boy, we have been over that this week now, haven't we? They can't do it now. There's not enough space, not enough time. So you got your extension, you signed your contract. Can I just ask you one question? Because I've kind of come to some fans' defense on this. There is a sentiment like, hey, you guys all said you were going to win 4 games this year. Why are you guys mad? Why even mad? And I think that you kind of brushed up against that earlier this week. And my answer to you, I think it was Tuesday, and my answer to you was, well, you have a point. If you felt that they were going to be a 4-win football team, maybe you shouldn't be so mad. Maybe you shouldn't be so downtrodden when you thought that it was going to be this way. But in the last 6 years, they've been a surprise to make the playoffs.
In the years they've made it.
Yeah. In the years they made it, they've been a surprise. You're right about that. There's been expectations that they haven't filled. But when they made the playoffs those 2 years, they were surprised. I don't think many people thought they were going to make the playoffs in 2020.
2020,
certainly not in 2023.
Well, remember, 2020 was the COVID year. Nobody in the stands, right, for most of the games all year. And then you were coming off an abysmal 2019. You got drubbed in the first week. So then it was like, what is the season going to be?
Yeah.
It's going to be terrible.
Exactly. So I think they have the right to, because you've had your emotions played with. We didn't think that they were going to make the postseason the years they did. So I think that there's a lot of fans who probably said, 3-win, 4-win team, in an attempt to do the Anthony Lima where they just tried to shield themselves from their own feelings. You don't want to get your hopes up so you can expect the worst and enjoy the very best if you get the very best. But I think that it became abundantly clear on Sunday that they're not going to approach that. They're not going to do that. And I think reality sank in for a lot of people that this could be a very long, tough season for them. And I think they're mad about it because it's not just that, it's the culmination of everything. You know, you and I have gone back and forth with, you went back and forth with the afternoon show yesterday. You and I have gone back and forth on what's happened, like on Monday night and where that guy stands and where the other guy even stands with Nick Chubb. And I think they see that, and I think they're just, man, they're just so down. They're just so angry over what's happened in the past. This opportunity that you had to finally have consistently good football, and for a million different reasons that weren't even all the Browns, weren't even all his, weren't even all everybody's. Everybody shared some blame for a million different reasons. It slipped through their fingers. And now I wish, to be honest with you guys, I got to have Drew Aller go out there and play well on next Saturday. I got to have him go out there, play well next Saturday, and play well on November 1st. And let me tell you why. Because at least it would center the conversation on a person. Because when we were terrible in the past, it was, can we just get this one guy? And he might make things all better. And now you have a class where nobody's excited about anybody.
Well,
and I think he might be just because he's
abstract
local.
Instead.
Exactly. And just because he's local, I'm not putting him on my list yet because of these reasons, because he is local. But just because he's local, I think that he's a guy that Browns fans could galvanize around and say, hey, let's go out and get this guy, and let's get behind this guy and see whether or not we can get this thing going in the right direction. And I think that that's flimsy as that comes out of my mouth. I think it's flimsy. But we're going into a year where I've heard good things and terrible things about every single one of these fellas that are getting ready to come out. So now you can't even sink your teeth into that. And the guys that you've seen in the past that you've used as examples, C.J. Stroud's struggling. Jaden Daniels has struggled a little bit. Caleb Williams is struggling. Like, there's a lot of struggle out there.
Well, okay, I guess the time to get mad for me was at the end of last year, and I thought it was probably the right time. I wasn't screaming about it, but I thought it was probably the right time to go in a different direction, right, with either leadership in either the head coach or GM. But I knew if you got rid of Stefanski after 3-14, then you'd have this awkward year of a new head coach with the prior regime, and then that would probably result in a divorce, and then you'd be doing this backwards. So I knew that probably weren't going to get rid of everybody. Now, this season, I had such low expectations coming into the year where I said 4 or 5 wins. That's what I thought, which was right in line with Vegas, right? That was the win total. But it's also weird to say 4 or 5 wins with a team that is right up against the salary cap and that has Myles Garrett on the team, and then veteran offensive linemen, and then Denzel Ward. And you still had David Njoku. So it was weird. Then they get this rookie class, which I felt really good about, even though I didn't understand the strategy of some of what they did with the rookie class. I was like, man, I kind of like these rookies.
It's almost like they were just trying to find good players.
Yeah, and they did. I think they did. I think they did
find some
good
decent players.
But now I'm looking and I'm like, what is this year going to be about when I don't think much of Dylan Gabriel? And then they went and compounded that by taking Shedeur Sanders, which made the training camp one of the most bizarre training camps you can imagine, where you had the 4th-string quarterback and 5th-round quarterback getting all the headlines day in and day out. And then, we're sitting there talking to Herm Edwards now, and we didn't even mention that guy. We didn't even mention the guy that we talked about the entire time, to the point where our boss was like, hey, what time did you mention Shedeur Sanders? I'm like, oh.
I think he was doing that to stick it to us when he asked that question.
We didn't?
I think he knew.
Like, we did. He was the talk of trade. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't believe what a bizarre situation they're in. They're up against the cap, one of the oldest teams in football, and the headline guy was Shedeur Sanders, who is an afterthought right now. What a weird team. What a weird season. Yeah. Is that what I should be yelling about? Should I be screaming about that? Because I keep saying, like, you said, well, I can't see them firing Stefanski in the season.
I can't.
Daryl said he's not on the hot seat last week, and I'm like,
I talked to somebody.
Well, if they go 0-6, he's not in the hot seat.
We're going
to be talking about firing him.
I talked to somebody we all know yesterday, and he will say it on the air eventually. And it's a name that I think people trust, even though they probably disagree with him. I'm just not going to say it yet because I don't know if he wants me to say. He's like, there's absolutely no way. He doesn't he thinks he's coming back in 26. That they're all coming back in 26.
Which I'm telling you,
which is a sobering pause for a lot of people there.
Can we just take bets? But you'd have to know what the season is. I'm telling you right now, guys. If they're 1-9, 2-12, they're all getting fired. I'd bet any amount of money they'd all be getting fired, because we're going to be feeling very different today than we are feeling today.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't hope it happens, but it looks like this is inevitable.
That's just what happens. I know we've all said it's a feather in the cap of the Haslams that they've actually had some stability.
And I think it's
that we've been able to finally lay claim to this is the organization, this is the coach. They're not dysfunctional. They don't fight every day. Say what you want about 3-14. They're not dysfunctional. Like they actually do. You actually have a GM and a coach working together, and they've done it for 6 years. That has never happened with Jimmy Haslam.
But losing is
but
dysfunctional.
But it doesn't matter because you're losing.
But now you're not functional with your fans. There's dysfunction with your fans. Because now they go from, all right, let's fire everybody right off. Chudzinski doesn't work. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. And I think actually that year the fans didn't want Rob Chudzinski fired. I think that Joe Banner doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to actually putting together a football team, and he had way too much power about that. But I do think, though, that we went from firing everybody every other year to let's get some consistency. We need some consistency to now it's like, well, we're doing it almost at our own peril. Because you've made decisions that are not popular with the fans. It's come home to roost. We argued about that yesterday. I know that there were plenty of more people that were down with that decision than want to admit. They don't want to admit, but their opinion isn't public. Yours is. So they might have liked it at the time, but they hate it now because, hey, they have to answer for it and they're powerless. So the fans are going to be upset. So they're going to want somebody to answer for it. That's dysfunction. It's been 6 years. If you can't get the scoreboard to be on your side, then somebody's going to have to pay the fiddler for that eventually. And if you go into another year, you can have all the consistency and all the functionality you want, but I think it just turns into a different message as it's going, yeah, you guys can make those numbers do anything you really want them to do except for the scoreboard. And then it seems ridiculous going, well, how on earth has my favorite football team fallen into the hands of the people who don't answer for me as a fan? And so they have every single right. Miles signed his deal. Miles gets paid to play. He plays well. He's done exactly what I asked him to do. I got no problem with Miles whatsoever. But he doesn't have the right to complain about the entire thing of it. Yeah, it's embarrassing to go out there and have your ass handed to you. So I agree with him there. He can't complain about the enormity of the thing because he's getting $123 million more guaranteed. But I think every single fan out there, yeah, they could go, yeah, we're going to win 4 games, and they have every right to be seething pissed when they lose a game on a Sunday, because then it just feels like you're further and further away from either somebody answering for it or getting better. And that's an issue, because the trust is eroding week by week. 216-474-0092. Daryl Ryder. 8:22 on the Fan. Detroit radio's talking trash about the Gardos. That's in 5 minutes on the Fan.
It's Anthony Lima for Fanatics Sportsbook and your
From 9 till 4, this free family-friendly event has it all. Trucks, science, tours, treats, and fun. For more information, go to cleanwaterfest.com. That's cleanwaterfest.com.
When there's news that affects the Cleveland sports fan, Daryl Ryder is on top of every headline. Listen to his reports on the station with the most local sports talk in town. 92.3 The Fan, powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
Embarrassing. We got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. And I think we know that. Y'all gonna write us off. We could go 82-0. No one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. How he couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Well, it was a good day in Detroit yesterday, especially if you're a Cleveland Guardians fan. The sweep is complete as the Guardians now 3.5 games back after a 3-1 victory yesterday with the likes of Jose Ramirez and John Kenzie Noel going yard for the Guards. I want to play this to you guys because we had the TV broadcast for the Guardians earlier today playing the Noel home run. This is the Tigers broadcast on FanDuel Sports Network Detroit. The lead-up by Jason Benetti. Kind of a funny moment here involving John Kenzie.
I mean, if John Kenzie Noel is Big Christmas, does that make Tarek Skubal just for today the Grinch? Well, Noel, fly ball to left field. No, my goodness, Christmas wins. It's a tie game at 1. Noel reached out and plunged it to left. Not in the holiday spirit here in the 4th.
Now, I like Benetti, but that was as cathartic as catharsis gets.
First of all, I really enjoy Benetti. I think he's really good. He's had a very famous divorce with the baseball team, right? Because he was
Chicago White Sox.
He was with the White Sox,
and they got John Triffin.
And now Benetti's doing national college football. He's doing all sorts of big games. He's pretty good. You could tell though they are very, very concerned about the state of affairs of their baseball team.
At first, it sucked. And then he picked it up at the end. And I was like, that was a nice journey we went on. Thank you very much. Boy, Jason Benetti can do no wrong. Who do you like more, Jason Benetti or John Fanta? Let's go around the room right now. Go.
Oh, please. I mean, I text with Fanta, but I admire and respect Jason Benetti.
Wow. Owen.
What sport we doing?
Bowling.
I do enjoy John Fanta's passion. I really do enjoy his passion. I'll take Fanta.
Mitch, who all of a sudden has a backwards hat for the reason because he knows he's on
because
camera.
It goes from not on his head to bill forward to bill backward.
Yeah. So wait, he's doing like an over the top because earlier today
he's got to flip the switch.
It was the other way, and then he went, "It's showtime."
He's broadcasting for custody of his kids right now. Mitch is.
I still love about that movie out of nowhere the broadcast element of it, like as if we were going to do real pregame and postgame. Yes. We've got to go behind the scenes of these. Who are they again? They are arm wrestlers.
Yes, truckers / arm wrestlers.
Yes, I just love Robert Loggia. Who do you want, Jason Benetti or John Fanta?
I mean, Fanta was coming on here yesterday shouting guards ball, so I mean, we're...
You know what? Fanta comes on. We haven't got Benetti, so I think Benetti now gets relegated to second again.
Benetti, but not coming on the show.
Orange Fanta. Continue.
You know who I also like? Mike Valenti, who was on 97.1 The Ticket yesterday in Detroit.
Would he make fun of you about a backwards hat on the
Yes,
on
he
the
would. He would make fun of me for a lot of reasons, but he talked about his potential panic for the Tigers yesterday.
My panic level is in a weird spot. If it's in relation to clinching the bye and having their best chance to make an organized and impactful run in the playoffs, that's a 10. The panic otherwise about just get in with a chip in a chair? No. It's like a 2. I don't think Cleveland can keep doing this. This is their brand of voodoo, where basically they don't allow any run. Now, against you it is, because this lineup's a train wreck.
I mean, we have 3 games next week to prove whether or not this Guardians team can sustain it against the Tigers.
This is literally the text I had gotten from Big Mike, who I referenced yesterday on the show, former classmate at Ohio State, who's from T-Town and is a big Tigers fan. And he kept saying, How is your team good? He goes, you got nobody other than Ramirez. He goes, no one's heard of any of your guys. And look at your run differential. He pointed to the run differential.
Do you know what the run differential is right now?
What is it?
It's negative 23.
And they're 9 games above 500.
Yes.
I mean, this is incredible. I can understand. I know that's big time shade that he's throwing your way. But let's not act like that's not what every Guardians fan has been saying most of the year. Like, how are you guys doing this?
Do you believe that the 2020 Guardians, who played 60 games, were a good team?
Oh, that was such a weird year.
Were they good, or was it just whatever?
It was 60 games.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with that year.
Okay,
she only played the Central, right?
Yeah. What about the?
They went.
I just
they
want
went
to make
to
sure.
Toronto. I remember because what's his name? Karinchak wasn't allowed to go with the team.
And 2023 didn't go the Guardians' way. Just saying. I don't know if we live in a society where both the Guardians and Browns can be good.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if we live in a cosmic world. It shouldn't be a society. I think society could handle
not
it.
on this timeline.
Yeah, but I don't think that in our galaxy we can live in a world where the Guardians and Browns can both be good. So I think that plays into it. Valenti, I want to disagree and call him a trash talker, but hearing what he said, David Sampson said the same thing. What you're doing, if they weren't playing above their heads, we wouldn't be this excited. So they're playing above their heads, and they're doing a tremendous job. That's why we're so excited by what they're doing. So he does, while I don't like where it's coming from, he does have a point.
Really quickly, this is from the Thursday night game last night on Amazon Prime. Al Michaels talking with Kirk Herbstreit.
You know, some teams are good, and they're not particularly interesting. The Buffalo Bills have really become a great team to watch.
They are.
A lot of social media pages picked that up. You had a theory of who he's talking about.
He's talking about the Eagles. He's talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. I sit next to a play-by-play guy every day, and the play-by-play guy said he's bored by the Eagles. It's the Eagles.
The Eagles, yeah. You know what? They have not been a joy to watch. Kansas City.
You hate the tush push.
Kansas City, who I still think is going to make the playoffs, but man, you can't continue digging themselves into this kind of a hole. They haven't been really that entertaining. I told Owen, though.
I didn't like any of it.
Well, you said you weren't necessarily into last night's game going into it. And I said, man, I think Josh Allen has now gotten to the level of must watch. I have Lamar Jackson as must watch. I still think Mahomes is must watch because now it's the struggle. And seeing somebody as good as Mahomes and trying to either root for his failure or see how he deals with adversity, I think that's must watch. I no longer thought Joe Burrow was must watch, and now you can't watch. Think about that during the break, Kenny. I want to know your must watch during the break.
I think I smell the first installment of The Unwatchables.
Whoa, here we go.
Daryl Ryder coming up at 8:20. Mitch, outstanding as always. That was about last night. And we forgot to ask Herm Edwards about one big Browns name, and some of you in the chats are calling us irresponsible. A question of responsibility as well. Coming up in 5 minutes on The Fan. Casey.
In Thursday Night Football last night was heard right here on 92.3 The Fan. Buffalo beats Miami 31-21. Listen to The Fan Rewind weeknights 11 to midnight. All the best segments from all our shows. You can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Find out what happened in Berea while you're working. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays at 2. 92.3 The Fan.
This is the same thing that the Giants are dealing with, right, with Russell Wilson. They sit in the same kind of predicament. As you let it play out after about a month of football, what is your record? And you can say, well, it's not the quarterback. But again, everyone looks at the quarterback, right? Quarterback and head coach, they're the only ones that have records behind their names. No one else does. It's the quarterback and the head coach. And if you're 0-4, you're going, oh, maybe we got to do something. Unless the young guy gets hurt. You can't go back to the veteran. You're done. You're going to play with that guy the rest of the year.
Herm Edwards with us yesterday on the podcast. Go listen to the whole damn thing. 923thefan.com as well as the free Odyssey app. You said who was, before we get into that, you asked who was must watch and who's we did the unwatchables.
Yeah, but this is the opposite.
We didn't do it yet though.
Because this all started because Owen said he really wasn't in the lead up to last night's Thursday night game, which I said looked beautiful on Amazon. That's a story for another day. I said must watch. Josh Allen has gotten to that level where if he's playing and you have a TV, I feel like he's got to be on. Everything he does is breathtaking. He's a guy that big, running like he does, throwing like he does.
Finer.
He seems smarter now too. He's gotten smarter. Like he's playing the game at a perfect level. Anyway,
so are we doing a must-watchables?
Let's do it.
Do you want a music bed for the must-watchables? Here we go.
So,
let's see if this works.
I'm on you, brother.
Just go wait for it to kick in. And waiting for it to kick in.
Here it comes.
Look at that beat. All right, so I'm going Josh Allen's on. There it is. I'm also adding to the list. I still say Patrick Mahomes. I know they're boring, but Patrick Mahomes, the struggle I'm into because I'm rooting against him. And he's got a battle adversity. What was their record again last year? The boring Chiefs?
They were 15-2 because they didn't play anyone week 18.
The week 18, they would have been.
They were 15-1 going in.
So they're still good. I don't care that they're 0-2. So he is on there. Lamar Jackson, definitely. I'm stopping now. Maybe not in the playoffs, but in the regular season, I'm stopping what I'm doing and I'm putting him on. I said Burrow's off the list.
You have to watch him in the playoffs if you're watching him in the regular season because you can't believe that he's struggling when he's doing so well.
And then Baker Mayfield.
That's it for you? What about Green Bay?
You know, we just talked about one of your fantasies, and now the Baker thing makes sense.
Stop on my grapes some more, Baker.
Baker's on there. What, you think I'm missing?
You're missing the Packers.
And the Packers?
And it's not for Jordan Love. They went out and got Micah Parsons. They've added to the defense that was already supposed to be one of the top defenses. And they added a potential defensive player of the year. But you hate defense.
I can't believe you
I should have known better. You hate defense. You hate it when
Mike is fun.
teams play tough against each other.
Miles is fun. Mike is fun.
Philadelphia is on my list.
Okay.
I got must-watch
those. I don't put Baker on must-watch. I'm not putting myself through that.
Is Philly must-watch on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1?
Well, not even the refs watch them on 4th and 1.
Well, I'm not.
They just let whatever happens.
That's true.
I got Buffalo and Lamar, and I got Philly. That's who my 3 must-watches are. I'm not putting...
Not Baker?
No.
Whoa.
No. We argued about... No.
Baker has to be on your must-watch.
Well, he's not on mine. It's my must-watch. It's what I want to watch and what I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch him. How do you like that?
Well, then I think your must-watch is bad.
Would you be saying that if you were in, say, Tampa Bay? I mean, not Tampa Bay. That gave the worst example. If you were in any other city outside of Tampa Bay, if you were in Tacoma, would you say that?
If you were in Lakewood,
Tacoma,
Florida.
Washington?
Yeah. If you're in any other place, would you say Baker Mayfield is not must-watch?
Probably not, but these all go with emotions. Okay. Why do I like Phil? How many people probably agree with you about Philadelphia being a team that you don't really want to watch? I would say the majority of fans listening to this would agree with you. It's just based on your own feelings. I don't want to watch Baker. I don't need to be reminded of that all the time. I only watch Baker because I have to watch Baker. But I don't want to watch him, so no, he's not on my must-watch list. Lamar is on my must-watch list. He's the most likable. I should hate his guts and wish nothing but the worst for him, and I like Lamar Jackson. No, dare I say sports love Lamar Jackson.
One more. Is Pittsburgh, when they're losing, must watch for Ken Garman?
No.
Really?
No. I got my own problems.
When they're giving up 30 points a game?
Nah, man, no. I got my own problems. I cannot, no. Nope. Buffalo, definitely. Buffalo, because there's just a whole thing with that. Lamar, Philly, not Baker. That's where it's at. Is there anybody who's unwatchable before we move on already? It's already week 3.
So I was thinking the Saints.
Okay.
But I've kind of liked watching Spencer Rattler a little bit. I swear to God, he's been better than you think he's been.
Giants after week 1 were on that list, but if you keep putting up 40-point football games,
they got Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
I'm watching Malik Neighbors.
Yeah,
he's
good.
awesome.
I got to tell you,
They're
man.
on Sunday Night Football.
Dolphins are a tough watch for me. Like, my dad's even like, oh, whatever, fine. Plus the old, like the uniforms and all that stuff. Like, dad's just out, man. He's in a bad place with him. The old man's in a bad
You gonna
mood.
make a switch?
No. He's 65 years old. It's it.
You saw glimpses last night of what they want to be.
What they should be.
He's got some of the same underwear from 1972. Yeah, he's going.
Not making that switch.
Yeah, that's going all the way
That's
down.
greasy underwear?
Yeah, this is going all the way, brother. Till the casket drops, Ken Sr.'s still going to ride with them. Did we make a mistake by not asking Herm Edwards about Shedeur? That's a dead serious question,
we passed
everybody.
up easy content.
That is a dead serious question.
We passed up 100,000 extra views.
We had Herm. It wasn't like we had Herm Edwards for like 2 questions as he was walking down the street. We had Herm Edwards for a half an hour.
An intimate conversation.
We didn't ask him about, John Fanta just texting you a nasty message there. That's interesting. All right, well. Good morning to you too, Johnny boy.
I love him even more now.
All right, so by the way, us not asking a Shedeur Sanders question, is that an indictment on our entire preseason coverage?
Yeah.
That's all we talked about in the preseason, and now we are 2 weeks into the season, and he's an afterthought.
It's not. That's all people really wanted to talk about was him.
Ask the
That's all
fans,
they really
is
wanted
that
to talk about
no
with him.
Shedeur Sanders question? Is that an indictment on our coverage? 216-474
again. I'm sorry.
0092. I want to hear from the fans. Let us have it.
You had every opportunity. I opened up the phones and said, go ahead, call in about anybody but Shedeur Sanders. It is open line Thursday or whatever it was. Nobody got in. No. And now he's the third-team quarterback, and everybody wanted us to treat the third-team quarterback like the third-team quarterback. So guess what?
We're going to treat him like the third-team quarterback. But he's not even really the scout team quarterback.
Shut up. The next guy that's in line for he's still a scout team quarterback. The next guy who's in line is Dylan Gabriel. We asked him about Dylan. We asked Herm Edwards about Dylan Gabriel.
He's actually
we're doing the responsible thing.
He's actually the extra session at the end of practice quarterback. That's what Shedeur is now.
You really got to start this.
Well, that's what Stefanski had said.
So do you think that we missed an opportunity to ask him about Shedeur Sanders?
Well, we definitely
missed an opportunity for clicks, but did we miss an opportunity?
That's what we missed. We missed the opportunity for clicks.
But we didn't miss an opportunity for our own good standing and our own goodwill. That's what we didn't miss an opportunity for.
There's a segment of the fan base that once the season started, they were hammering us saying, you are only mentioning Shedeur for clicks and for money. You are coasting on the back of Shedeur Sanders just so you can get your national publicity. And that's the only reason we're talking about him at all.
I didn't talk to any of those people. He will eventually play. If they keep, especially after last week, they keep turning in games like that, Shedeur Sanders is definitely going to play. There's just one guy that can't play quarterback for your football team this year. That's it. Everybody else is on the deck. Dylan, Shedeur, yes, Bailey Zappi. It shouldn't be Bailey Zappi before Shedeur. If it's Bailey Zappi before Shedeur, I'm going to be in a very bad mood. It better be Shedeur before Bailey Zappi. And then if Shedeur goes out there and he's good, then fine, we'll continue to play Shedeur. If Shedeur goes out there and sucks, then I guess we'll play Bailey Zappi. Well, at that point, it won't even matter.
It won't matter. Right?
But still, the other guy can't play. I mean, it's up to them. They can do it. I'm just going to be in a bad mood if they put that guy out there. But no, we didn't miss an opportunity with asking. He's a third-team QB. How many times have you asked about a third-team QB in season?
But that's the thing. In the preseason, he was the fourth-string quarterback.
Because it was the preseason. and he was the biggest story in football. Who was a bigger story? There was nobody. So you didn't let anybody down. It was a big conversation. I mean, they had every opportunity to get in about Mason Graham. I would talk about Mason Graham, and nobody cared. The second you said Shedeur, people cared about Shedeur.
Well,
good, bad, ugly, but there was no indifference. There was no indifference to him.
And nobody cared about Flacco preseason. We all kind of agreed, and maybe this was faulty, but we all kind of said the same thing, like he doesn't really need that many reps. When in reality, probably every quarterback needs some reps. But, Flacco did look good in the opener. I will give him that. He looked good in the opener.
Okay, but going back to it, I think that history will probably show, if the season goes the way that a lot of people think it's going to go, the season will probably show that it was the most bizarre offseason in quite some time, one of the most bizarre offseasons ever, where we talked about a guy that everybody has intentions on, every Browns fan, now there are Shedeur fans out there, every Browns fan has intentions on replacing this year. Of course, I can't really replace a third-team quarterback. So every Browns fan just has an intention on what quarterback they're going to draft high in the first round next year. That's not replacing a guy who's a third-team quarterback. And if he will have his opportunity this year, and at this rate, it'll be around Halloween, he will have his chance to go out there and prove that they don't need anybody else, that it's Shedeur Sanders.
And then are the Browns on the must-watch, not just for people here.
Herm Edwards.
People around the country.
I'm sure we'll bring on Herm Edwards again. We'll talk with him for another 30 minutes, and we can talk about Shedeur Sanders then. But I thought it was a fine interview yesterday.
Okay.
9 o'clock, Nathan Zagura going to join us on the show. How long is that leash on Joe Flacco on Sunday? And are the Guardians on a collision course with the postseason, and does it make Stephen Vogt right now the best manager/head coach in the city of Cleveland? Daryl Ryder is going to answer that, and whether or not this could be the swan song for Joe on Sunday. That's in 5 minutes on The Fan.
It's Anthony.
On Thursday, Bitonio continues to be bothered by a sore back. The hope is, though, he's playing Sunday when the Packers come to the stadium. Thursday Night Football's heard right here on 92.3 The Fan. Buffalo beats Miami 31-21. The Bills 3-0. The Dolphins now 0-3. Get all the latest Browns content filtered right to your phone during the regular season by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
I stoked the fire a little bit more. I sent a video of you and me talking about you-know-who yesterday to a friend of ours who lives over there on the west side. Mm-hmm. And he was wondering, he goes, well, how many Baker jerseys does that guy own? I go, I don't know. He goes, I own 3.
Oh, my gosh. 3. We're up to 3. The Carolina
it's either
one,
a leather
right?
vest or a Baker jersey.
On all your success.
It's unbelievable, that guy.
He had to have a Rams one, did he?
No, he had to have it was guaranteed. It was Panthers and then it was Bucks, right?
And Browns, yeah.
And Browns, yeah, of the 3 that he had.
Do you have a jersey of him as a defensive lineman?
What a man. Come on. Those were saddened times. He's on to better things.
But that's part of the amazing story.
Taking us on to better things as well, the dangerous one, Daryl Ryder. Brought to you by Scheib & Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Daryl, good morning to you.
Hello, boys. How are we?
How are you?
I am just fine and dandy.
Thank goodness. Daryl, could Sunday be... I'm going to ask you about the Guardians coming up in a bit. Could Sunday be Joe Flacco's last start for the Browns?
I kind of feel like that you need him to get you through at least the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Packers and Lions. And then, depending how both of those outings go, maybe you consider making a change for the London trip. But
all right.
I mean, I won't say no. Of course, it could be, but I just feel like you got to give him at least 2 more starts. I'm not in a hurry to make changes. I mentioned that with the midday guys yesterday. I want to keep Dylan Gabriel on the bench as long as possible.
Does it matter that, like, are we framing it because he was a, 3rd round pick that many thought was overdrafted, or if we had a 1st or 2nd round quarterback sitting there right behind, would it be different?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It'd be different. If that number 5 pick, or had they stayed at 2, had they used that on a quarterback, sure. I mean, the fans would be clamoring to see the rookie. Look, I don't think anyone outside of the media is like, ooh, I really have to see Dylan Gabriel start right now. I mean, come on, let's be realistic about it. They really want to see Shedeur Sanders more than they want to see Dylan Gabriel right now. And look, at some point, we're going to see Dylan Gabriel. Don't get me wrong. It's going to happen, but I just would like that to be as late as possible. And because I just don't think that making a quarterback change increases your chance to win football games. Plain and simple.
Daryl Ryder, brought to you by Scheib & Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Daryl, I'm going to get to the stadium as well. So Dylan Gabriel, not for a while. Shedeur Sanders, not for a while after that. We did not ask Herm Edwards about him. Was that a miss by us?
What, not asking Herm about Shedeur?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was a miss.
Whoa! Tell me why, Edward R. Murrow, king journalist. Tell me why.
Well, in the context of what he should be doing as the number 3 quarterback right now, because everyone is twisting themselves into pretzels over what he is or is not doing at practice. Ross Tucker mentioned on the broadcast last Sunday that they're doing an extra period at the end of practice to get Shedeur even more work, but getting Herm's perspective on just how the Browns might be handling Shedeur and his development, sure, I think that is something that I'd be interested in hearing about.
Fine, I messed it up then. I have let you down, Daryl, and I'm sorry.
I forgive you, Ken.
Have we impacted the company's bottom line by failing to address that?
No, I don't think so. I think you're good.
Just passed up a bunch of views.
Daryl, do you
just be careful what jokes you tell on the air there, Lima?
How many fans did you think? How many fans or anybody did you think had the Browns over 5 wins or anything like that?
I think there was a good segment of fans. I mean, look,
really?
The offseason and training camp is usually the time for optimism. I had them at 6 wins. I thought that they could double their win total from last season. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little concerned about that prediction right now.
Well, you should be. I think all of us are. I mean, the offense is just abysmal. A lot of people are going, well, it's predictable. And I went, well, you had Quinshon Judkins back there. How many plays could he really know?
Yeah.
So you have a problem there as you're trying to bring people along, but it's a long season, and I don't know if we're going anywhere, so you can figure it out from there. The reason I asked you that first question, though, Daryl, is that I've had a lot of people start to ask, well, if everybody was saying 4 wins or 5 wins, can they really be mad about this? And I go, absolutely, they can be mad about this because, when you hear guys like us, I think that it does sound like we're making a bunch of excuses at times for Kevin Stefanski, and I gotta go after him for it. So I have to go after myself for it. So I have to wonder, is he going to be held accountable? Is Andrew Berry going to be held accountable? And if they're not going to be held accountable for wins and losses, well, then I think a lot of fans are going to be really upset about that, bud.
Well, I just don't know how you can spend north of $650 million combined over 2 seasons and win less than 6 games and feel that that's an acceptable return on investment. That said, part of the reason you're not winning is you don't have a quarterback that can win on this roster right now. That's just the cold, hard math. Joe Flacco gives you the best chance, but, I mean, he's 40 years old, and you're seeing some of the deficiencies in his game that are age-related. But of the players they have in that room, that's it. I mean, Andrew Berry's biggest miss has been in the quarterback room. He does not build good quarterback rooms, plain and simple. And he made the worst trade in NFL history, gave out the worst contract in NFL history. He inherited a roster that was built to win, and it was built for sustained winning. And this franchise has not done that under his leadership. He should be held accountable for that. What might save him, though, is the promise of this current rookie class. The fact that Quinshon Judkins made a very favorable debut. Mason Graham has made favorable debut. Carson Schlesinger, same thing. Harold Fannin making an impact early. So the fact that this rookie class is performing, that ultimately may save Andrew Berry. And as far as Stefanski goes, I don't know what people want from this guy. He can only work with what he is given. And when you don't have a franchise quarterback, when you don't have consistency at that position, when you're constantly trying to throw stuff against the wall, hoping something sticks, okay? He made the necessary adjustments last year and brought in Ken Dorsey, and that was a disaster. And the whole reason they brought in Dorsey was for Deshaun Watson. That didn't work. So I don't know what folks want more from Kevin Stefanski. I do agree, though, the way they lose matters.
They want to win football games.
I know, but like the way you lose matters. The way they lost in Baltimore was unacceptable. There's no question about that. The way they lost week 1 against the Bengals, well, you file under that. That's football. That's sports. Stuff happens. But they do need to be more competitive in these games, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the scoreboard if Stefanski stays.
Daryl Ryder, brought to you by Scheibman Jewelers. So, how many wins do you think they're going to get this year?
I still think 4, maybe 5.
4 or 5. So Kevin can stay after 5 wins, 4 wins?
Well, here's the other question you have to ask, man. If you fire Kevin Stefanski, who's going to come in here and do a better job?
The hundreds of people will come in and at least take the job. Now, I don't know how many people are going to do a better job. They'll probably have, but if you have a different general manager, people will assume they'll have better players. Now, that's not a guarantee, clearly, but they're going to assume they're going to have better players. Plus, you're going to have a better quarterback. You should have a better quarterback out of the draft than anything you have right now. So you should win more football games, so you should, in turn, do a better job.
And look, I go back to what I've said before about Kevin. The 2 years he had competent quarterback play, he won 11 games and made the playoffs. So the other 3 years, the quarterback room's been a disaster. So, again, he can only work with what he has to work with. And Andrew Berry has not done a good job giving him much to work with. And the guy they kicked out of town is an MVP candidate. Unfortunately, the organization wasn't mature enough to put him in his place under that rookie contract They just let him be him. And, well, that's how you end up with immaturity and ultimately an ugly divorce. And he needed to hit rock bottom so he could become the player that he was. And I do agree that Baker Mayfield probably would not have been successful had he stayed here in Cleveland, just because the organization wasn't mature enough to develop him. And this is the issue that I have with the Browns. Even if they draft the next quarterback next year and turn the franchise keys over to him, much like they did Baker Mayfield, by the way, same group of guys, are these two guys, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, going to mature that young quarterback properly? I don't know. Let alone that. I mean, that's one question on top of the number one question of, can they actually pick the right guy in the draft?
All right, Daryl, I'm probably going to be asking you a similar question every single week if they continue to lose. Last week, I asked you point blank, are they on the hot seat? Stefanski and or Andrew Berry, you said unequivocally no. If they end up like 1-10, you don't think they're all getting bounced?
Well, that's a different conversation. Right now, I don't think they're on the hot seat as we speak in this moment. If we get to December and they've got 1 or 2 wins, I think that it would be fair to assume that conversation could easily change quickly.
All right, Daryl.
Can I ask Daryl's must-watch?
Please, ask him.
I said Baker.
Ask him questions.
I said Lamar Jackson. I said Josh Allen. And I said Baker. Baker. Must-watch right now. Who is on your must-watch, Daryl?
Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield.
I'll see you all in hell.
And that's it. Yeah, Ken did not concede there.
No.
He doesn't think Baker's must watch?
No, I might. You know what? You both of you guys.
He's got fourth quarter comebacks. He's throwing a ton of touchdowns.
Taking hits.
Just get the hotel room and get the chair in the corner of it and go ahead and watch.
Daryl,
I'm not going to be in there and watch
I was off the bandwagon during the last year in Cleveland. Guess what? I am back on the Baker Mayfield bandwagon. Boom.
Yeah, I am too.
Fun to watch. Fun to root for.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I wish him nothing but the best, and he's going to be in the MVP conversation this year. So enjoy that, Ken.
No, I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not going to watch it. It's not going to happen.
Well, you're going to miss out on a lot of fun, and that's on you.
Why am I going to miss out on a lot of fun? Why would I put myself in more hell?
Because he's fun to watch.
I don't care. I have respect, but I don't care. I don't have to watch. I'm not going to watch.
Owen said we could come over and have a watch party.
All right, there you are. I'll see you.
You should have your watch party in Chagrin Falls and just go the whole way. All three of you. Owen doesn't have to be a part of this.
I'll bring the fishbowl.
I call it the bake show.
Well, Christmas is going to be here soon enough. You might as well just have an eyes wide shut sort of thing over there. It's unbelievable. Ask him questions. You're part of the interview too.
Daryl,
he doesn't know what to ask, so he's just waiting on me to ask.
Wide receivers looked pretty grim on tape, according to Jeff Shadell, who watches the tape.
No, he didn't watch the tape. That was the problem.
Well, I figured eventually he got around to it. Either way, it did seem like Ross Tucker talked about the wide receivers not getting open. Coach Riz talked about the receivers not getting open. Is this going to be a problem?
Yeah, I think it is going to be a problem if the receivers can't get themselves open. 100%. My impression was I didn't think that the receivers were getting open. The Ravens secondary did a pretty good job against them, watching the all-22. But I also understand receivers always think that they're open and feel like they're open. So I understand I understand where Jerry Jeudy's coming from, but I think it's fair to say that getting open was a little bit of a problem in Baltimore.
Stadium is going to get done.
I think so, yeah.
Final step was that last night.
Well, no, they got to get through the court stuff, which is still ongoing. You still got the 2 lawsuits, and then, of course, there's
the Kucinich? Are you talking about the Kucinich lawsuit?
No, I'm talking about the city of Cleveland versus the Browns in county court, and then the Cleveland Browns versus, Cleveland Browns versus the city of Cleveland in federal court on the constitutionality of the Modell law. But and then also, too, there is the challenge that folks have filed in relation to the funding mechanism from the state and the sheetment of the unclaimed funds. But I would say they're 99.9% home free.
Daryl Ryder. Brought to you by Scheib Jewelers. Hey, real quick, should we do coming in hot?
Absolutely. And I think it should all be Baker Bros.
It didn't go our way last
Whoa! That term, Daryl, we've retired that term.
Oh, we have? Oh, I apologize.
I'm not negotiating with the terrors, Daryl.
You should absolutely do coming in hot. It's not Friday if you're not doing coming in hot.
Maybe it doesn't deserve to be a Friday after those comments. Daryl, goodbye.
Goodbye. See you in hell.
Daryl's Riders brought you. Now he's telling me he'll see me in hell. What's going on? Daryl's brought to you by Scheib Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
So we have 20. We have this full season.
This is ridiculous.
How many home games do we have left this year?
I don't know. 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then next year, that's 2026. Then we have 2027. Then we have 2028. And these are the final home games on the lakefront. The countdown is on.
These are the days of our lives.
Now, I don't know whether to factor in a playoff home game or anything like that because we haven't had one. So I don't know. We can't make a concrete listing yet of, hey, this is the, 41st final home game or the, it would be like 23rd final home game. We can't do that because I don't know. Are we going to host a playoff game at some point? We got to host one playoff game in that damn stadium.
Before they close the stadium,
Don't they have to host one? Don't you feel like it's going to happen? Just because that's what's going to happen.
No.
We're going to get to it, and the weather will impact the game maybe favorably, and then we're going to go, why are we leaving this?
No.
You know that's going to happen.
No, it doesn't have to happen.
You're saying the 2028 AFC Championship game
doesn't have to happen.
Can you imagine?
Absolutely doesn't have to happen.
And the winds are swirling and howling, the unrelenting weather. Right there is the water against the rocks. It's cold and miserable, and the Browns use it. And Miles Garrett after the game says the weather was a factor.
Get the CBS music. I'll do the promo. It ain't gonna happen, so that's the closest you're gonna come. I'll do the promo. Let me do promo. I'll do promo. Fine. Told you it ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen. I'm not guaranteeing it. You're guaranteeing it over there.
Is it hitting? Yet, are people finally realizing, is it becoming crystal clear that the Muni lot is going to die?
Right, I'll ask you.
It's on its deathbed.
That's a hell of a way to put things. I will. We'll ask you that. 216-474-0092. And should we be more understanding of Kevin Stefanski? Or is that just Daryl carrying water? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, the Culligan Man on the Fan.
Real estate market.
FPR Auto Loan today. Visit psecreditunion.org. That's psecreditunion.org.
92.3 The Fan has the most local sports talk in town, and you can be a part of it anytime you want. Weigh in on X at 92.3 The Fan and see if our hosts make your reaction a part of our shows. Powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Lima asked, have you come to terms with the stadium going away? And you're going indoors. I came to terms with that a while ago.
Well, Daryl mentioned that there's still the legal loose ends that need to be tied up, but then he's like 99.9%. So I know it's been one thing to talk about it, but there always seemed to be some kind of obstruction in the way. This last situation, it was an ODOT building, like a quite literal obstruction that ODOT said would be a problem with the airspace. Either way, that's all done, and
somehow everything got shorter.
That is
Leon's
nice.
Getting larger.
That damn Leon. So, have people come to grips with the Muni Lot era is coming to an end, which I think that's more what people care about than the stadium. I mean, yeah, the waterfront, because Municipal was on the waterfront and all that, but it's the walk, and it's the walk back either there, the warehouse district, or the flats, the pit. That's always been part of the fabric of Cleveland Browns football our entire lives.
What I will miss someday is the neighborhood type of feeling, the unique feeling that I get that I don't get really anywhere else. Now, I've been to Pittsburgh, and I've been to Cincinnati, and I've been to Detroit. And like they do it like parking decks last time I was in Detroit. Like it's a little different there, but I don't know. It's just not it's just not as like I don't know, it's just not as gritty. Like the Muni Lot is this giant sea of humanity, but then there's like the pit, there's under the bridge. There used to be West 6 until the mayor decided to get upset. There's the North Lot. There's the Burke, the hoity-toity Burke.
Yep.
Like there's all like these different neighborhoods, just like
the
it's almost like
lobster and caviar.
It's almost like there's Bracknell, and then there's Maple Heights, and then there's Brick Park. Well, you can't say Brick Park now because they're actually going to Brick Park. But you understand that, like, and it was all separated by the infrastructure, either railroads or overpasses or whatever. Like I'll miss that. I'll admit I'll miss that.
And I'll miss just coming down here, parking, and doing the walk and seeing all the people and looking at the jerseys and just, that whole experience is part of Cleveland Browns football. What will that be like when it's over there? What will that experience be like?
I imagine it's going to be...
It's not all going to be bad. There's going to be new traditions. There's going to be new stuff that people look forward to doing.
I don't know. It's just like tailgating when I was younger. Like now we got like responsibilities and stuff. But like with tailgating when I was younger, right? You go, you get a couple drinks in you. And it was almost like a fun house. Like you'd go under this bridge and there's this group of people. You can go under that bridge and there's this group of people.
Smell
you go
the propane.
Exactly. And now I think it's going to be like Kansas City. Like when I went to a Chiefs game years ago, it was a good atmosphere, but it was just like I didn't like it as much as I like Cleveland because it was just this giant parking lot between two stadiums. And I was like, it all just kind of was the same. And I think this is all going to kind of be the same. And they just leave the plans as they are. Don't try to bake anything in that isn't natural. Like this was all natural.
You're not going to
was natural. The whole thing was natural.
You're not going to like Dog Pound Deep Dish Pizzeria, like everything named after the Browns in Brownstown.
I mean, I'll just deal with that. But I mean, like, don't like name the parking lots. There's the pit. This is the new pit.
Oh,
like,
they're doing it. Boy, you know what? You're totally right. But I could see them as a marketing ploy. We've got having a fancy suit talking in front of the camera and saying, we wanted to make sure that we were able to, maintain the relationship our fans had with yesteryear and the tradition.
Folks, it's just my opinion.
Using the past with the future.
It's just my opinion. Don't do that. Just leave it how it was. Leave it in the past. It was a nice thing. And for us who were old enough, like I'll tell my son, I guess you just had to be there because you had to be there. Because now it's going to be much more in the open. I mean, good God. I mean, there was, with all those nooks and crannies, there's plenty of places you can go and sneak away and do God knows what. And there were plenty of us who did God knows what at all those tailgates. But it's just going to be more open, and it will be fun. It just won't be the same type of memory. It'll just be different. It'll be fun. Tailgating's always fun. Getting some drinks in you and beer bonging and everything else, that's fun, but it just ain't gonna be the same. That's all.
Do you feel like, Anthony, Mason is not old enough yet to go tailgating to enjoy the tailgate? He's not going to remember a tailgate if you were to take him to one.
Oh, you're right. So in 3 years.
Then.
I got to take him.
You've got to take him, but even then in 10 years, you're going to drive by and go, that's where it was.
You're going to take Mason to a tailgate? He's going to be like
He's got to get one in before he...
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking, too. You're right. It sounds ridiculous, but he'll never have that opportunity. That would
Axel's
suck.
12. He'll be 15 by the time that they move into the new stadium.
You going to take him?
No. Why would I take my son to a tailgate at 10 years old?
Yeah, I mean, it is irresponsible, but it's also part of our history.
Taking them to a tailgate and dropping them off at a tailgate is a much different thing, Ken. I think
All
you're
right,
thinking
here you
about...
go.
Go sow your oats, boy.
Call me when you need a ride.
But still, that's an adult atmosphere. Tailgates at certain places in the area.
Oh, we've been through them. I've taken my boys. We went last year in Chiefs gear, walking through them. Right,
through them is a different thing. You said
I think you got to show them.
Through and to are different.
We're not Browns fans, right? We weren't wearing Browns gear. I think you got to show them. I think you have a responsibility to take Mason before it's over. I think you have a responsibility to take Axel and Eli and Jonah before it's over.
Do we have a responsibility to take our kids to a tailgate before it's over? Especially, your son is like 19 months old, so I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea.
Sounds to me like he'll be 50 months old when you take him.
Do I really need to take him to a Browns tailgate to watch me get drunk and sad? I can do that in the
You can
driveway.
be a responsible adult.
Yeah, well, like they're being
responsible adult.
Will the last Muni Lot tailgate? Will that be a huge deal? Will they charge extra to get in?
It'll be the way that municipal went, right? It'll be more about the Muni Lot than it was about municipal stadium.
I think who's going to want the chairs?
I
and
just
the seats
watched
from
Cleveland
that
95 2 days ago just because it popped up.
There's no memories there. There's nothing.
Well, that'd be on Mayor Justin, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be on Mayor Big?
Bring your sledgehammer.
Yeah, watch the final day of the final day of the Muni Lot. It's going to cost $200 to walk through there.
And he'll go, "Oh, now you can't do that. Somebody farted in the wrong way. I got to shut this place down." But we're open for business.
Getting started.
We're open for business here in downtown Cleveland, aren't we? Awesome. Ken belched. Shut this whorehouse down. It's like, come on. Let's have some fun. All right, Nathan Zagura.
Let's get back to Sodom and Gomorrah over there at the Muni Lot. Let's go.
If it ain't Caligula, I ain't taking my son. Flat out. You've lost your soul. Nathan Zagura, Browns radio analyst. He's going to join us here in about 4 minutes. How long is the leash on Joe Flacco on Sunday? Ken Carman, Tone Master General. A lot of people disagreeing with you, Tone, here on social media, live on The Fan. Window Nation at windownation.com.
Sunday when the Browns take on the Packers. And Thursday Night Football's heard right here on 92.3 The Fan. Buffalo beats Miami 31-21. Want to catch highlights from The Fan from earlier today? Get over to 923thefan.com or favorite 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app for all today's headline segments. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
There's only one place for a full recap of practice in Berea. Overtime with Jake Volnick. Weeknights at 7. 92.3 The Fan.
Nathan Zagura joining us here in moments. Lima has a giveaway. Go.
It's time to start thinking basketball. And enter the code word tickets at 923thefan.com before 10 a.m. for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Cavs take on the Bulls. Preseason action Tuesday, October 7th, 7 p.m. Rocket Arena. I'm trying to get Ken to go to this. Tickets on sale now. Cavs.com/tickets. I wanted to do a party.
You didn't say a word to me. You didn't say a word. Lima got some ticks going. I took our kid to a West Virginia tailgate. He was fine. How old was the kid?
7.
College tailgates are different from pro tailgates. A Browns tailgate can be a wild place. I've been to both the Browns and an Ohio State tailgate. I could have worn a tuxedo to the Ohio State tailgate.
Yeah.
See? No disagreement.
The Ohio State tailgates I go to, they're a little more higher brow.
They're all higher brow. I went to Ohio State, Michigan.
But it's also the one I go to is right outside the rotunda, and it's a thing of beauty.
Wow.
Eat some good food,
on all your success.
some good liquor, and then I walk right into the stadium.
You wonder why people cuss you out on the internet. You know, I share experiences with them. I'm just like them. No, you're not.
Actually, we don't go in the normal entrance. There's one a little bit around the corner where we go up. We go right into an elevator that opens up into a beautiful suite at the 35-yard line.
Hey,
it's beautiful.
You know who can beat you in experience? Nathan Zagura can beat you in experience. This is a man who once got lost on the air in a conversation about truffles. Nathan Zagura joins us right now on the Fan Hotline. Hello, Nathan.
Good morning, Montfrere. Great to be with you. Great to be with you as well, Lima. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well. I'm not lying to you guys. Like, I was sitting there. I don't mean to put you guys, but you guys were talking about it on air. I don't care. I was sitting in the other room with Gibby, and you and Bo got lost in a conversation about truffles one day in the middle of the summer a few years ago. I go, boy,
congratulations on all your success.
There are not many people who can share this experience with these guys right now. This is something else. Nathan
I do like a good truffle.
You have tasted the finer things in life. You have enjoyed the finer things in life. And hopefully Sunday will be one of the finer things in the Browns season.
Yes.
When they take on the Green Bay Packers, a lot of people have been thinking offense over these last several years. Now it's Micah Parsons. Boy, what a hell of a trade by the Green Bay Packers. That defense looks stifling.
And in fact, it has been stifling. It's giving up the fewest yards per play in the entire National Football League so far this season. And I think what's really stunning about what this defense has done is when you look at who they've played. They played the Washington Commanders. They have played the Detroit Lions. Now, those were two of the best offenses in the NFL last year. They're also two of the best offenses in the NFL this year, just not when they're playing the Green Bay Packers. This was a stat that just absolutely jumped out at me. So the Lions and the Commanders in 2025, when not playing Green Bay, are averaging 36.5 points, 471.5 yards, and 7.7 yards per play. Against the Packers, 15.5 points, 238 yards, 3.7 yards per play. So these are two of the best offenses. They've shut them down. Jeff Hafley, who was formerly with the Cleveland Browns, back on that 2014 Mike Pettin staff in the secondary. He is the defensive coordinator there. They get Micah Parsons. What they've got is a great front four. They do not need to blitz much, and they don't blitz much. They play a lot of zone coverage behind it, 80% zone. And what they do is they say, we're going to put 7 in coverage. We're not going to let you throw the ball over the top. They're not allowing any explosive plays. And we feel the more plays you have to run, eventually our front's going to get home. And for good reason. They've got 8 sacks in 2 games. The front alone has combined for 7.5 of those sacks. They got Pro Bowlers on both ends. They've got an excellent defensive tackle in Devontae Wyatt, who's off to a great start this season with a couple of sacks in his own right. So this is a very good defense. It is a very tough defense, and they play a brand of football that basically they play bend but don't break, and they feel like at some point they're going to break through and make a big negative play that ends your drive.
Well, that brings me to my question about what the Browns can do to alleviate some of the issues that definitely popped up the later that game went against Baltimore, where Flacco, the lack of mobility, and it seemed like receivers might have been having some issues in their routes as well. How can Kevin Stefanski deal with some of those factors and understanding who they're going up against this week?
You're going to have to run the ball. I mean, and so far that's been a problem for us. Even, Quinshon Judkins, 10 carries, 61 yards, 57 of them after contact. We're still taking contact on average right at the line of scrimmage, and that's not a way to have a successful ground game. And so when teams are going to come out and they're going to play too high safeties, and the Packers play a lot of that too high look, you've got to run them out of that. You've got to get them to bring that other safety down the box. Then you have an opportunity with the middle of the field closed to at least take some shots down the field. So that's going to be critical in this game. And then it's going to be kind of, patience. Joe Flacco is going to have to be patient. It's going to be a lot of short underneath stuff. And what this Packers team also does really well is they rally to the ball. They're giving up the fewest yards after the catch per reception in the NFL. So this is a tough defense. It's a tough scheme. It's going to test the patience. But if the Browns want to have success, they've got to run the ball. And it goes back to really what the formula for success all year, right, was play great defense. We can actually say check on that. It was run the football effectively. We have not been able to do that so far, and that allows you to then hit some of those shot plays off of play action. We haven't been able to do that so far. We are not going to be a good just drop-back team if we are trailing, and you saw that to your point against the Baltimore Ravens last week. So those are the things they have to do. And then the fourth thing they have to do is they got to be at least neutral and ideally positive on special teams. And so far, we've been a huge minus on special teams in each of the first two games. The missed kicks and then the block kick. We've given up big punt returns in both games. So the Browns, until they start doing those things, and of course the fifth would obviously be take care of the football, 9 straight games with 2 or more giveaways. Till they do those things, the Browns are not going to have a lot of success. But if they do, this is a roster with a lot of stars, and this is still the number one defense in the NFL. Number one total defense, number one running defense. You shut down Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson last week. You shut down Joe Burrow in the passing attack in week 1. So this D is playing at a high level. We just need to give them some support in the other phases of the game.
How much more of the offense is Quinshon Judkins familiar with after 1 week?
I think he's ready to go, and I think it's just more a matter of conditioning, not knowledge. From my understanding, he has been on top of everything. Even when he was away, he stayed on top of everything, understood the playbook, understood it, and really kind of picked up right where he left off after having a tremendous early portion of the offseason, through the OTAs and the mini camp. So they're very excited about him. It's going to be more about conditioning, but I would expect this. Quinshon Judkins is going to be the bell cow for this football team, and they are hoping that could be this week. And if it's not this week, it'll be the week after, and then that'll be the status quo as long as he's healthy.
I know something that Ross Tucker brought up last week. Sampson really had problems picking up blitz or making sure to keep the quarterback upright. It's so early in their career, but do you feel like that could change some of the personnel groupings this week?
Well, I don't know if it'll change it. I think we saw last week, if you notice, a lot of people were kind of wondering, hey, Dylan Sampson was so productive. Why did Jerome Ford play 35 snaps, and why did Dylan Sampson play 17? Dylan Sampson caught 8 passes in the first game. Why is he not in the 2-minute drill? And I think therein lies a little bit of your answer. Now, he's a smaller guy at 5'8", 200 pounds. I'll give him credit on the one where Roquan Smith was a free runner. He stuck his nose in there. Mm-hmm. He just got run over because Roquan Smith is a bigger, stronger guy. And so for Dylan Sampson, and I think the idea is going, when we get this thing exactly where they want or as they envision it, it's going to be Judkins is your 1, Dylan Sampson's your 2, and your third down back, because he is an excellent pass catcher. The route he ran on the touchdown from Dylan Gabriel, by the way, the ball from Dylan Gabriel was excellent too, but that was a great route. So he is a weapon. And right now, he leads the rookie running backs in the NFL, believe it or not, in yards from scrimmage, which is kind of a crazy thing, but it is actually a true thing. So, yes, he's going to have to improve that pass protection, but once he does, I think he will start playing even more himself, and you'll get to that point where it really is the 2 rookies there, because Dylan Sampson is a talent. That's something he's willing. That's the number one thing. That he's a willing blocker. We just got to get that technique. He's got to stay low and use his leverage to the best of his ability. And if he does that, he's going to end up playing more, because I think ideally you want him to be your third down back, because we can all see what a weapon he is out of the backfield.
I want to go around the league with you real quick. Do you have any more about? Okay, I just want to make sure. I know Lima has something to finish up with here, but October 19th, Browns host the Dolphins. Will Mike McDaniel be the coach of the Dolphins?
It's a great question. I thought they played pretty well last night and played pretty hard. It does seem that their offense kind of now is stuck, in neutral, I would say. They can't really push the ball down the field. They have not had success doing that. And you even look at the yards per completion last night, wasn't great. But they played hard for him. And Stephen Ross, I read a report saying that he doesn't want to get rid of him unless one of 2 things happens. Fans stop showing up, or the players stop playing for him. And I thought that was a Miami team that competed last night. You know, they got, for those who are into such things, they made it closer than Las Vegas thought it was going to be. And really, it was a one-score game pretty much the whole game. So I'll give them some credit there. I just don't know. If they're, coming to our game, that would be, week 7? If they're 0-6, yeah, there's probably going to be a change made.
Go ahead.
We have been going over the must-watch players in the NFL because I said Josh Allen is clearly one of those guys that you've got to watch if he is on TV. Ken was probably going to give some hipster answer about offensive linemen and guys in the trenches. What about you, Nathan Zagura? Who are the must-watch players in the NFL?
For me, it's tough because I don't get to watch as much, full games on a Sunday, obviously, because I'm in the booth or we're traveling coming back. But I think that you're right about Josh Allen. I was struck last night by even some of his incompletions. There was a ball to Dalton Kincaid in the end zone that the DB did a good job, got his hand. The ball's just so on the money.
It's right
and it
there.
looks so effortless. And they made, they were showing some of the changes in his mechanics. It's incredible. The work that he put in, the coaching that he received, and he's one of the most pinpoint accurate throwers, and he can do that literally to any spot on the field. He's must-watch. Lamar, I still think, is must-watch because of the things that he can do. I really like watching Jaden Daniels as well. And then you could get into a ton of different receivers. I like watching, I think Malik Neighbors is beyond sensational. Obviously, Chase, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, I feel like, on the brink of getting frustrated in Minnesota, and hopefully Carson Wentz can get him the football because he could have had a lot of big plays the first 2 weeks there. But, that's kind of what I like watching. And then the guys that are, Myles Garrett is must watch because he's just different than everybody else. And there are some great pass rushers in the game today, but there's nobody like Myles. And so he's a very fun guy to watch. Derrick Henry, because how he's doing things that we were told you can't do. You can't be a big back and have longevity. You can't be any size running back and be getting better in your 30s. So I think he's a pretty fascinating guy to watch as well.
No other quarterbacks on that list, Nathan? Nobody that plays in the state of Florida?
Oh, God.
Nobody?
You got something about Trevor Lawrence there?
Trevor Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence and Tua not having a great start. I think Baker is definitely fun to watch, and certainly happy for the success he's having. I like their scheme. I like that they get in 3 wides and 11. They throw it. I'm a little concerned about his line at this point, as it feels like every week somebody new is going on IR. But he's done a good job. If you really watch the whole body of those games, not so great, but when he needed to at the end, it was great. The 4th down where he runs out was an excellent play. And I also loved what I thought was like a vintage Baker where he got flipped over, grabs his leg. You think he's like, maybe that's it. He's done for the year. He's exploded his leg, and then he hops right back up and is 100% fine just to talk smack. And I did enjoy.
Nathan, we do have a mutual friend who did post. He's an analytics guru. He did post.
Please, TA. I know it. The most turnover-worthy plays in the NFL.
Yes. So is there regression to the mean coming, or is he living his best life this year?
I may be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure he either led the league in interceptions or was second last year. So he's going to throw some interceptions. But I think that's okay as long as you're as productive as he has been. So, yeah, he's going to put some balls in some tight spots because he's got arm arrogance and he's had the ability to do it. But so far it hasn't hurt them. I mean, the funny thing is that team in particular, they're a grand total of 3 minutes away from being 0-2. But they've come through when they needed to. Younghoe, too, missed the field goal in week 1. I thought Houston made a huge strategic blunder at the end of that game. And it was, I don't know if you guys thought watching it live, I totally thought they let Chubb score. Did you guys think that live?
Yeah, you know what? This was a big debate for a little bit. And this wasn't to come in and like rip on Chubb. He was struggling running the football. Clearly not his fault totally, that line. But that does now, it kind of seems like the way that they're talking on both sides is that, yes, they were allowing him to score a touchdown.
And they did a good job of it because you could see they completely parted. They knew where the run was coming, which I thought was pretty good scouting. They parted, but they ran after him enough to make him think they were trying to tackle him. And, for Nick Chubb, that had to be such a cathartic touchdown anyway, because you're right, that was a brutal day before that. I think it was 11 carries for 18 yards, but was able to get in the end zone there. But all they had to do, in reality, if you went back and you thought about it, and Nick Chubb's done it with the Browns before, has been very smart getting himself down in bounds, They stop at the 11-yard line, give them an opportunity to get another first down. Tampa Bay never gets the ball back, and you're kicking a chip shot field goal and you win the game. But that's one of those, in the moment, it's very hard, and you still had a chance defensively to stop them on that fourth down. You know, the blitzer took a little bit of a wide angle. If he comes straight at him, straight at Baker, there's nowhere to go, and they get off field and win the game. But that's one of those interesting things where I thought it was a really good job by Tampa because it looked enough. And what I was shocked by was watching it that Buck and Aikman never even brought up the possibility of it, that they didn't even think that was possible. That was a great job by Todd Bowles, and then great execution by Baker and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go win that game. And so they're 2-0 when they could have been, inside of 2 minutes in both games. They were trailing.
All right, Nathan. Thank you very much for the time. All the very best to you and yours.
Why do you sound so unhappy, Ken? What did I say?
It's not you. It's not you.
No, of course. Listen, it's. I think that you can understand what happened here. You can see that he has grown up these are his own words, right? That he has grown up, that he has matured, and that he's playing great football. And that can be okay. That can be okay on all fronts. I think the thing that people are unhappy about from a Cleveland standpoint is we haven't yet solved that quarterback position. And we certainly wish that we had. And when you're in a division with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, although Joe Burrow looks like maybe won't play again this season, now Aaron Rodgers, you've got to be elite at that position. And the Browns just have not been, unfortunately, for far too long. But that's kind of the whole goal of everything now, is to try to find that guy, whether it ends up being, Dylan or Shador on the roster currently, or somebody in a draft class coming up. The Browns are good. That's it. Until you find that, we're not going to be the team that we want to be.
Blessings, salutations. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye. Nathan Zagura on the Fan Hotline.
A responsible conversation with Nathan Zagura.
Okay, whatever.
I appreciated that.
Are we just going to turn this into more of that referendum, or can we actually move on with some
things? No, we're over
things?
it. But I just wanted to get Nathan's perspective on that, and I'm so glad he offered it up.
Asking for some understanding doesn't make you the water boy, does it? Ken Carman, Anthony Lyman, take us with you to work on the absolutely positively free Odyssey app. Watch us for free on YouTube Live. Go ahead.
Anthony Lima for Fanatics Sportsbook, and we're already gearing up for week 3 of the season. Why would you go with anyone else other than Fanatics Sports? show.
Your way and on your time.
It's game week, Browns fans.
Obviously, there's things that we know we need to do better. We'll make sure that we put a plan together to let these guys have success versus Green Bay.
All eyes are on Kevin Stefanski as they look for their first win of the season against the Packers. Kickoff Sunday at 1. This is the radio home of the Cleveland Browns. 92.3 The Fan.
This show sucks today, and I'm tired of it. So if you want to host the rest of it, you go right on ahead. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. I'm tired. So exhausted with the referendum. Just stop. Just why are you having this fight? You started this fight. I got cussed out over. Did I get cussed? No, I didn't get cussed at. But Nick went on a tangent yesterday.
It was great.
And Eric's like, you need to talk about that. I go, it wasn't my fight. Don't care. Not going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
What was the fight?
I'm so done. He's successful. Let him be successful. We got to get our own heads out of the gutter.
I put Baker on my must-watch. What more do you want? He's been amazing. He's shoving all the bad things I said about him. He's shoving it right back up me, and I have to take it, and I'm enjoying it. What? I am. I love watching Baker Mayfield right now. I absolutely love watching him.
Why are we still talking about it on a Friday is my problem.
Okay, if Joe Flacco plays really well, then I'll love watching that.
Guardians are a game and a half out of the wild card. Baker. Got a game on for Saturday.
Do you remember what Baker did when he went to a baseball game? Do you remember how much fun he was having?
He shotgunned a beer.
That's Cleveland right there.
Shotgunned a beer.
Well,
no, it's now Tampa now.
Guess
it's Tampa. That's really
Which
everywhere.
is technically in St. Pete right
That's
now.
everywhere. Fine. That's everywhere, though. They can do that any place. Los Angeles, you can shotgun beers. Seattle, Washington, shotgun and beers. Iqaluit, Canada, you can shotgun a beer. Ain't much else to do up there, so you can shotgun a beer. And man, I'm just so, God, you don't get tired of this stupid stuff?
I'm trying to have fun with the NFL, Ken. You can't. My team, if we get blown out this week,
let it go,
what am I going to be doing? What, are we going to be on Dylan Gabriel's watch, the quarterback none of us wanted?
You are so addicted
that's
to
the hard
people.
Thing. Normally, when a team takes a rookie, you get real invested, and even if you weren't all in, or you're like, this one's a little risky, like we're going to chip Dylan Gabriel. Who wanted Dylan Gabriel? Did any of you guys want Dylan Gabriel?
No.
So it's like, that's not even exciting. It's like, hey, I've done this before. I'll admit it. Hey, I hope such and such plays poorly so we can get to the guy I want to play. I've done it. I'm guilty of it. I know that's bad fandom.
I know you do that, yeah.
I know Ken thinks that's bad fandom.
It
but,
is.
You want to see a guy. I guarantee there are Shador fans who want to see all the quarterbacks play bad until we can get to Shador. Either way, does anybody want to see Dylan Gabriel? Anybody really? Truly?
I'm sure he has
madly, deeply.
I'm sure there's family members who wants to see it. And it did seem that Herm Edwards, who was on with us on the podcast yesterday, which you can listen to the entire 30 minutes, 923thefan.com. I bet he wants to see Dylan Gabriel. It sounded like he did.
Comparing him to Brown's legends.
There's not that many others. I got to tell you that. It's just like, man, can we just talk about a quarterback that we have? I'd rather sit here and talk about Joe Flacco and how long his leash is.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that? If you want to talk about that, we've had all show. I don't think Ken Carmen really wants to talk about Joe Flacco. I think you're a little nervous about Joe Flacco lumbering around against a defense that has how many freaking sacks already? 30?
Well, it's up to them to protect him, and they got to get open on quick routes so he can get the ball out so we can not lose by 30. I don't know if we're going to win. I mean, my God. Are we doing coming in hot at 9:45?
I don't know.
216-474-0092.
That's Mitch's call. He's the producer.
KC in Cleveland. Hello.
Yo, Ken.
Hi.
Simon.
Hi.
Anthony Lima. Hey. I'm 46 years old, man. I'm born and raised, grew up Shaker Heights. I'm a diehard Cleveland fan. I'm surprised you guys don't know what's going to happen this weekend, man. Either one or two things are going to happen. Either Joe going to come out and play well, we'll beat Green Bay, or it's going to be the start of Dylan Gabriel's career. Period. Point blank.
When will Dylan Gabriel? You saying Dylan Gabriel will start next week?
No. Sunday. He's not going to start. If Joe doesn't do well throughout this game, he's coming out. Dylan, you're in. You're in.
But they did that last week.
Because
the game was out of hand.
The crowd is not going to allow it. And the call is going to come from upstairs.
They're not going to boo Joe. They're going to boo Joe?
No. They're going to boo the performance if it's bad. I'm not going to say that they're going to boo Joe.
They love Joe.
Yeah, but they're going to boo the
They'd be booing the situation.
I'm telling you right now. Say again?
They'd be booing the situation.
Yeah, they'll be booing the situation.
He ain't going to boo Joe.
Either it's going to be one of two things. Either Joe's going to go out there and do his thing, and he's going to save it for another week, or they're going to pull him. Dylan, you're in. And Dylan, he's going to come in and do Dylan. Dylan looked good. So
he looked good. He looked good in garbage time.
They did that last week.
They did. And by the way, KC, they did that last week. So the argument about when he's starting, Casey, thank you for the call. The argument about when I just saved him from getting the big boot from Owen.
Well, you let him elongate.
Starting his career would be starting him against Detroit. That's what this week would do. If you think it's a swan song for Joe Flacco, fine. But he ain't. I don't believe they have any intention whatsoever of playing Dylan Gabriel at all on Sunday. Maybe the week after that. Maybe the week after that. Maybe the week after that against the Minnesota Vikings.
If they do, it's going to be in garbage time.
Because, guys,
they're not going to go, it's a close game, bring Dylan in to finish her off.
The truth about this matter has hit a lot of us way sooner than it's going to hit them. And frankly, they have to lie to themselves. If you don't believe it and you think it's stupid, fine. But they have to lie to themselves, and they have to believe that they still have a chance. They got veterans. You got guys who should be playing for their jobs. You just can't act like none of this matters for the rest of the season. That's what I think is bothering everybody so much. Like when Daryl says that, and everybody calls him a water boy about, well, I don't know if they're gonna make it through the year, and I don't know if they're all gonna get fired after this. Like, don't shoot the messenger on that one. But I look at what Daryl says, and when Daryl has well, what else is he supposed to do? I don't know, but you're the head coach, so somebody's got to answer for it. And I got to tell you, the closer I've got to this game, I can tell you it's more than 50% that guys get fired, and I could say that's not necessarily justified. There are guys who get fired. I'm like, that guy had it coming. Yeah. But there's a lot of guys, man, that are known as losers in major football, major college football and the pros. And it's like, these are circumstances that got out of control that they couldn't handle. The vast majority of those guys are like that. Where it's like, hey, he's a good coach. It was not a great situation. And I cannot keep telling you over and over, what if he does it somewhere else? Who's going to come in who's better? You'll get better players, and eventually whoever is the coach of that football team will look better. Who's a better coach, Ryan Day or Urban Meyer? Urban.
Yeah.
Who had a better team? Who's had the best team with Ohio State? Do you believe that this last team would have beat Urban's national championship team? I say yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
They've been loaded up.
Okay, so Ryan Day has more success recently, obviously, than Urban Meyer. There's plenty of guys who, like Jimmy Johnson. I heard the whole thing with what Colin Cowherd said. And I don't know if he was thinking at the time, and I like that guy, so you come after me for it. But like when he says Jim Harbaugh might be the best coach of all time, like Jimmy Johnson does exist. Jimmy Johnson did win it twice, but people don't think of Jimmy Johnson. There's guys who they're just known as better, and it's not fair.
Oh, Bill Parcells.
Guys,
a bunch of names.
Like I look at guys who are able to keep situations together, guys who are able to take situations and make them better from the second they look at them, and I go, yeah. In the grand scheme of things, Bill Parcells, you just mentioned it right there, a wildly Hall of Famer and somehow an underrated coach. The Jets, the Patriots, obviously the Giants, the Cowboys, the last time they were really respectable. The guy's a talented coach. And then there's guys who are like, hey, they won a Super Bowl, and all of a sudden they're known for being better. Certain overrated guys, like might have been in Chicago. But, I've been hosting with Gerard for a long time, so maybe I'm a little bit taken in by that. 216-474-0092. It's just like, man, I can't be afraid of the future all the time because somebody has to answer for this. And if there are no expectations at all, if you don't set a clear-cut goal, then the players will just start going through the motions because then none of this matters. And is that the type of culture that you want? Like, you got to stand for something. You have to stand for something. 216-474-0092. Do we want coming in hot?
I guess.
Keep the comments within the boundaries of good taste.
Listen, the kicker was kicking for his career last week against Baltimore. Okay. We all agree?
Yeah.
That's the type of pressure on the callers today. How do they perform under pressure?
I like this. 216-474-0092. coming in hot, coming up next on The Fan.
Anthony Lima for Diamonds Direct, corner Richmond and C.
eBay. Things people love. Secure purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
The Guardians playoff push continues in the final 2 weeks of the season. Can Stephen vote and the Guardians earn a second straight run to the playoffs? This is the place to talk about it. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
This is Coach Kevin Stefanski, and it's time for Coming In Hot.
That's another reason. That's another reason right there I don't want to move on.
Because he recorded that Coming In Hot.
You're going to get a whole nother coach.
He won't record one.
But, as if you don't win enough.
We're going to have somebody reach out to Hugh Jackson on Cameo and have him record one.
I'm not spending my money on that guy. No way. Hey, I told you, somebody sent me a thing of him listening the one day, so... Again, I'll say it to the camera again. I win.
It's his new move.
My favorite thing. Sorry, I'm banging around.
That's why he's the bad boy.
I'm the bad boy.
I gotta get to it.
Because apparently I'm the bad boy.
We glossed right over this one that I didn't see either.
Make it forgettable.
All right, keep in mind, we have a diabolical question ready to go.
Don't tell them that, because they might do it on purpose, and then they want me to ask the diabolical question.
Come on, we need a good batch, as the great Les Levine would say.
216-474-0092. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. Coming in hot. Now, go.
All right, Cleveland, it's time to get whatever you want off your chest. Cleveland, you're coming in hot. The phone lines are open now.
We're live on YouTube.
And we're live on YouTube. You can see our reactions if you want. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hey, Spider 2-Eye Banana, man. My ears are burning, man. I hear you need some grit at the coach position there, man. I was born in Sandusky, okay? I'm all about grit. I mean, you got the defense over there. Myles Garrett, he's so good. He'll tackle you with his mind, man. But I'm a great offensive mind. I'm so old school. I part my hair down the middle like a newsie, man. You ever seen Newsies, man? You know, selling the paper. That's a movie about grit. Robert Duvall, young Christian Bale. It's pretty good, man.
All right, the voice,
Tony Montana.
Okay, the voice was off, but the intonation was there.
The voice was close. I think the phone's screwing the voice up.
It was all right.
The mans were too much. That's what made it Tony Montana.
Yeah. Mang. Oh, you're coming in hot.
Bada bing, bada boo. So what's the best thing about dating a Browns fan? I'm glad you asked. She'll never expect a ring. Bada bing, bada boo. What's the difference between the Browns and a dollar bill? You could still get 4 quarters out of $1. Bada bing, bada boo. What's the difference between Chick-fil-A manager and the Browns? They show up for work, not on Sundays.
You should have said bada bing.
I feel like we were doing the old Ed and Flash finish the joke.
That was really funny.
Or was that Brian and Joe? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I think it was Brian and Joe.
Brian listens too. I'm sorry about that.
What a nice guy you are. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hello, Mr. Carmen.
Hi.
My name is Timmy. This is my one phone call. I'm in juvie. Why, sir? Why did you have to guarantee that Browns win last year? This place is hell. The wedgies are terrible. The noogies are diabolical. The shivs are Nerf, but they're still very pokey. We have to make fruit punch in the toilet. I don't even know how the Browns are doing. I wish I knew they would win this Sunday. Are they going to win this Sunday, Mr. Carmen?
You're just learning. You're learning life skills, and you're coming after me over that. If you don't know how to make toilet wine by the time you're 11 years old, you are not up to date.
Harry Buff in the toilet.
That's what. Instead of, if they're not going to teach cursive in schools, get the kids in the toilet, get the wine going. Let's go. A little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mustard, some fruit. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Yeah, boys, listen up. Let me tell you what.
I'm in my mid to late 50s. I've been watching football for years. I've been watching the Browns for years, and I'll tell you what we need right now. This coach, he's just too pretty. We need a bridge troll. We need a 2 out of 10. He's just too good looking. I'm trying to think about how tough and cool and he's just so good looking, and I can't take it. And we need an ugly coach. And I'm sitting there trying to cheer on the Browns, and he's there with his broad shoulders and his salt and pepper, delicious salt and pepper, and his strong jawline. And we just need an ugly coach because I can't take it anymore. I'm just too attracted to the coach, and I don't want to admit it.
All right, I will tell you guys this.
It's very distracting.
When I was there on Wednesday, somebody from the security team was like, "Some guy really just call up this morning and say that he's too good looking to be the coach of the Browns." I go, yeah, that's what it is. Says he wastes his time looking in the mirror. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Ziggy zaggy, oi, oi, oi. Ziggy zaggy, oi, oi, oi. It's for you, Jimmy.
Oh, man. Show.
We're moving on. I didn't even know what that was. I thought it was from Bowling Green.
Do you remember the other version of that show afterwards? Do you remember who was on it? Rogan. Joe Rogan was on that show. Do you know who he did it with?
Doug Stanhope?
Yes. It was with Doug Stanhope.
Wow.
Has Adam Carolla officially weighed in yet?
Remember the Fox?
Yeah.
Then he died while the first show was going on.
We watched every... Was I in college or was that before college? I watched every one.
Show.
Watched every one.
I remember that
I was
show.
in Anchorage, yeah.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Kimmel was able to get away with some stuff back then.
Yeah, this is the guy in the tan truck that you gestured to last week. And now that I know it was you, Ken Carmen, I wish you had chased me down and tried to apologize.
I'm sorry.
All I would have done is take the opportunity to punch you in the eye.
The problem is, Ken's truck, it's too good looking.
I am sorry. Yeah, I thought somebody was Joe Toohey, and I ended up giving him the bird, and it was a...
You gave him the Joe Oney?
It was a... That is funny. Hello, you're coming in hot.
This is Teddy in Massachusetts. I don't know what I can't stand more. Baker Mayfield, a sober lifestyle, or icy cold rivers. I could have been president if it wasn't for that ballyhoo.
It's a cold plunge, and it's supposed to be good for you. Something I heard on Joe Rogan.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Shout out to my boy, Bald Tom, his wife, Shelby. Welcomed a brand new baby boy into the world yesterday. Named him Jose. Come on, guards!
Okay.
Congratulations.
Here we go.
Jose, congratulations.
We can take two more. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're tired of hearing about wait till next year, and we're already hearing that. We've been hearing it for 60 years now. Quit blaming the new Browns. The old.
I thought, ridiculous.
Man, I really wanted to hear that one, guys.
He hit the nail on the head.
Thought he breathed into the phone for about 5 minutes too long.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Lima, how many unread text messages do you have? She's definitely on Ozempic, right?
I have a bunch of blocked phone calls, and I didn't realize until like 2 years ago, you could go right now on your iPhone and see all the blocked voicemails.
Really?
They're there. I never knew they were there. So I have hours of material to go through.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Dun. Rising up, back in the hunt. After losing streaks and blowing chances. Took Scoopable deep and the guards got a sweep. You cannot deny their will to survive. It's the cry of the tiger. It's the thrill of their plight. We're rising up with the choking of our rival. And with fear, AJ Hinch grabs his trash can in the night. Jose goes deep, Motor City's got the cry of the tiger.
It's pretty good.
Tied in a lot there.
That was good. That was well done. It doesn't have to make you laugh, but it needs to be well done, and it was well done.
It was timely.
Yes.
Much like the hitting of the Guardian.
Very much so.
We get a good batch today? Big batch?
Hey, they bounced back. I'm proud of them for bouncing back.
That's just like the kicker.
Good for him. Good for both of them. Yeah, good for you, Andre Schmidt.
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah. It's good. Big thanks to everybody who joined us today. The Dangerous One, Daryl Ryder. Nathan Zagura. Herm Edwards. Go hear all Coach 30 minutes, 30 straight minutes of Herm. 923thefan.com. We only played 11 for you earlier. You should hear what he had to say in the other 27 minutes. Unbelievable.
Listen to him about Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
It was great.
What he said about Patrick Mahomes. What he said about the family, too. No, I didn't say anything about the family.
Oh, it was somebody else we had.
All I know is whether I'm in a shirt.
Big thanks to everybody who joined us today. We are back Monday, 6 to 10.
What did he rhyme with sweater?
For Owen.
Feeling better.
For Mitch. For Jeff.
Velveeta cheddar.
Slippery wizard Anthony Lima. I'm Ken. He rhymes sweater with sweater. I'm Ken Carmen. Have a wonderful
Ledbetter.
Tall Boy Friday, my friends.
Getting better.
On the go.
No, you just did better with better.
Oh, darn it.
And they dance. Always take life.
The weather
as a
might be
risk
getting
or a
wetter.
chance. This is the end of my silly little rap. Thank you for paying attention and making sure that you're not booing, but you clap.
I know the weather's getting colder and the mic's getting hotter.
Vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Hey,
sounds good.
Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show. Bye, honey. Have a great day.
It's time for some commercials.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Busch has been called one of his sport's most polarizing drivers. When I recently asked him whether such notoriety bothered him, he replied proudly, "It's put my name on the map, and boy has it. Set your DVRs to catch my